Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of Sunday Night Geekery. So it's close of the week. We're starting a new one, so I hope everyone had a good weekend, survived that big snowstorm in the Northeast. We didn't get it, wasn't too bad for us, so knock on wood. But I know people that were closer, about an hour away, I shouldn't say closer, but within an hour of me, really got walloped. So I'd like to welcome my guest, Pat, the great Pat S., a.k.a. Shrimp Lightning.
Thank you, sir. Good evening.
Thank you for being here. And you don't get too much snow down where you are, I'm assuming, right?
We got snow about 4 years ago, brother.
4 years ago. Okay.
And then, of course, right before Katrina, the famous snowfall of '04 was a big deal because we got snow on Christmas Day.
Wow.
It was like a big deal. I was like, I think maybe the first time in recorded history that New Orleans had snow. Yeah.
Made it much easier for Santa Claus. Yep.
Yeah. I went to grad school in Indiana for a year, though, and we used to get snow there all the time. But even that was South Indiana. I was down in Evansville. So, yeah, hail Eric K.
Yep. So, hail to the great Eric K. We've got Hungry Boy in the chat. So, hail to Hungry Boy. Thank you for being here. And let's see who else just popped in. Apollonie's Minion just popped in, and she did a great show on Lorena Creole a few days ago or during the week, which was really great to watch. So if you guys and gals want to go look that up, it was a nice interview. Cool. It was great to learn more about her and how truckers keep our world working. Right? If it wasn't for truckers, we'd all be SOL. So I don't think people appreciate them enough. I mean, hey, yeah. I ordered stuff on Amazon. I ordered some more action figures, but how is it going to get to me, right? I mean, so yeah. So I hope you and the pup are doing good, and I'll find that Lorena Creole.
Lorena does a good job too. She's a good interviewer. She really is.
Yeah, it was really good, and she was on tonight talking Florida. I didn't get a chance. I was watching the sports ball. But maybe I'll watch it later. But she always has a great show, talking all things Florida and amusement parks and things like that.
Did she say anything about the weather? Because they're supposed to have a hard freeze again.
Yeah, tonight. I think tonight she was actually talking about the weather. Yeah, it was. That's for Florida.
Great, dude. That's gonna kill a lot of plants. I was a guy. Either a little bit guy or not even born yet. It snowed in the 70s in Miami and stuff, and it killed all kinds of flora and fauna. Like all kinds of stuff. So I remember seeing a documentary about. Yeah, I mean it's the Caribbean, dude. I mean, where New Orleans is, we're kind of like the northernmost part of the Caribbean. If you look at like currents and stuff like that, and all, like they even joke like the northernmost town. But I mean, when you think of where Miami is and the Keys and all, dude, those are like Caribbean islands. They really are, and how they're made.
Oh yeah. No, it's tropical. Yeah, it's tropical down there. Yeah, and I love oranges, so I hate to see those oranges, not make it. So that's bad. Yep. Oh, and then Eric K says, yep, one of these nights I'll make our geekery show when he's feeling better. Yep. So shout out to you, Eric K. Thank you. Yeah, I hope you're get feeling better soon. Eric's I guess got some back problems, which is public. It's not private, I guess, but. To share that he's obviously not feeling great, but I hope that's just the
that's the worst, buddy. We were just talking about that with my shoulder a couple days ago, and boy, I got to tell you, even as bad as my shoulder was and not being able to sleep on it and lay down, nothing was as bad as when I had those lower back problems a few years ago. I do not want that again.
Yeah, that's when you're not feeling good, it's the worst. It's the worst. Yeah. And Polly's Minion said she was on Rambling Connects channel too the other day. So I'll have to find that too. Yep, I'll post that link. Yep.
That's one of Loki's Inner Circle guys right there. Canuck's a great guy. Canuck worked with us with the Band of Brothers stuff, Mark. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Canuck did a whole episode himself.
Yeah, that was a great, and it was funny because I was at my cousin's house. I said, I'm on YouTube now, and let me do a search for Band of Brothers, and like it popped up, like that whole series of podcasts popped up. So that was fun when that popped up. I was like,
Good
wow,
evening, Sherry.
Did it know that I was searching, or like it was pretty funny, but that was a well done, and you're a big organizer of that, so that was really well done. Yep, good stuff. Yep, and I'm going to be on history with R&R in a few weeks too, talking the space program. It should be fun. Looking forward to.
Oh yeah, that will be cool.
Looking forward to that. Yep.
I'm waiting for Canuck to ask me to do my Katrina story. He did a great episode with Mexican Iron Man on his. You need to go back, guys, if you haven't seen that on YouTube, Mark, where Mike was talking about when he was Mexican Iron Man, when he was talking about when he was actually trapped in Manhattan when it all went down. He was with his ex-wife and how she kind of had a premonition that they needed to get out of there and stuff. It's really a riveting story. You could hear everybody's story that was on the island that there, even in Greater New York, and they would all be different stories, dude. They would all be different stories,
No, definitely, yeah. But it's just amazing. You don't want to forget history either, so that's a good thing too.
And even though it's recent history, it's important history.
Yeah, and then things change. Recollections dim, and things change up, and you like what really happened. Well, there was a big, this is recent history, but I don't know if anyone saw what Canadian Spider-Man did last night. So he has a lot of. Thankfully, he's okay. I'll just lead with that. Thank God, Canadian Spider-Man's okay. But he was doing a stream last night, I guess, on the Ottawa Truckers.
Yeah, kind of start from the beginning, Mark, because I only know cursorily what happened because they were talking about it on 24/7 show. And they were laughing so much about it and then saying, it ended up fine and blah, blah. But they didn't really tell the story. They got into it. They had a guest. They had Gary from Pop Culture Minefield. So they were having a grand old time. But they kind of skirted over the story. So I haven't even heard this yet.
Well, and as a side, I did get Gary's computer working again, thankfully. I offered some minor advice. So his HDMI port stopped working on his laptop. So I was going back and forth with him trying to figure out how to get to work. And finally got him to order a piece of hardware, like an external dongle that so he could bypass his HDMI port, and got him working again. So I was glad that was able.
He's a pretty gracious guy. I'm sure.
He was very nice. Oh yeah, he tweeted it out. He was sent me some message. He was very thankful. He's like, I'm down. He's like, I can't work on this 13-inch monitor, the main laptop. And I guess when you have your second, I work with two monitors all the time. I don't know how. It always drives me crazy when I have one monitor. So it's got him going. Of course, he does artwork and podcasting. So if you don't have that second monitor, especially we're getting up there in age, we can't see anything anymore. So you get that little, the monitor screen isn't so good for some things. So anyway, so Canadian Spider-Man, I guess he was covering we don't want to get into the politics of the truckers convoy or whatever, but he was just doing his fireside chat. If anyone has watched, I'm sure most of us here have watched Canadian Spider-Man streams, and he does these great streams going out into it. We found out it's his backyard, and I've been watching him, but you tune in at night, you don't know where it is, and some people initially weren't sure if it was a campsite, but to back up a little bit, what he had done was he had started the stream, and there was a bottle of vodka involved, and I've had my unfortunate experiences with bottles of vodka too as a kid. So he definitely drank too much vodka, we'll say. And so as the stream is going, and I had rewound it. I'd popped in. I think I was playing Fortnite with Dad Man, late night. And after the Star Trek show had ended with Clobbering Times and Raquel, and and as Eric K says, glad he's okay. He's a great guy. Except we were all, now that he's scared the crap out of us. Now we can get can get back at him. And Captain Marty Spock was on tonight. Hail, Captain Marty Spock. He was on the tail end of the stream, but so I was playing Fortnite. I'm watching, and I'm like, everyone's like, well, you could see he had passed out like live on the stream. Basically, so he started groaning and mumbling, and and this was all live on stream, so it's not like I'm telling anything that's private or you couldn't see. And he was really, he was started mumbling, and we've been there if you've had too much to drink.
Why didn't one of the fellow Canadians call the Mountie? They could have brought their St. Bernard.
Well, they did eventually. That's
wait, I'm getting ahead of the story. Go ahead, Mark. I'm sorry.
So no, it's okay. But
I didn't even know. That's pretty cool. Okay,
no, but so he's streaming outside. I guess we found out later. He's from a laptop, and he's got the camera attached to the laptop, and he's got a fire going, and he does like this Christmas tree, little lights on this little tree in the yard or bush that looked like a Christmas tree, and yeah. So at least he didn't strip naked and go running through the woods. Yep. And so what happened? All of a sudden he kind of like passes out, but he was yelling before he did. It wasn't like he just went, I'm talking and I went to sleep. He like started yelling and groaning. He's like, oh, I don't want to recreate it, but it was because he drank way too much vodka too quickly, and he's outside. It was -4°C, so it's a little bit below freezing. So as he said today, he's like, well, it's not cold for a Canadian, but he's outside. He didn't have gloves on. He had a hat on, but who knows? It wasn't like he was totally bundled up. And all of a sudden, he's just
Where
down.
Is he sitting? Is he sitting like at a table and stuff outside, or like on a log?
I can share the screen because his video was. He took the stream down, or maybe it ended up being like a 20-hour stream. So we beat Cardinal with the midnight to midnight. But let me pull up one of his streams so we have reference. So let me grab his. I'll put his link into. So I got to go. You should search Spider-Man on Google. You get way too many Spider-Man things, even with the Canadian in there. So let me put this in the chat. Yep. So. Let me grab that. Let's go to Canadian Spider-Man's channel here, and I'll share my screen there. Oh yeah, and he's a great guy, and I know him from meeting him through Clobbering Time streams, and so let's see. Let's pick a video where he's doing a campfire video. Here we go. Here's fireside chat with Canadians. Let me see if I can find one where it starts in the daylight. Let's see videos here. Because some of them start in the daylight, then go into the night. So let's see what we can find. But so anyway, so he's down and out on the stream. So it's it's not like he said, "Oh guys, I'm going to sleep, and I'm in my tent. I'm all bundled up. I'm safe. I've got the campfire going, and I'll see you guys tomorrow." And then you forget to turn the screen off, kind of that kind of thing.
Gotcha. And we're sure this wasn't a gag, right? Like he wasn't.
Oh no, God, this is not a gag yet.
Pulling an Andy Kaufman on us or something. Okay.
No, this was totally legit. So let's see. I'm trying to find a video where if he had the where it starts with him, with the daylights, you can kind of see the background. He did. Hungry Boy saying he did a charming one with the ornaments that his father had made. Now we can laugh about it. Yeah, that's one of these. I'll tell a drinking story that I had. Then you can laugh about it after. But everyone's really worried, of course, because the guy's totally passed out, and then we could hear him snoring, and you're like, he's outside, so it's not like all right, so you passed out, on the stream, you kind of maybe joke about it a little bit, and hey, it makes for a good story. But God, we're all worried, and then everyone's like, what's happening? And then you hear noises, and at first we didn't know if it was his backyard, and people were some people were really good and figured out where oh, this is from an old stream. Like this was actually his backyard. This wasn't. This wasn't. Somewhere out in the wilderness at least. So at least there it was his backyard. So here, I'll just share this one. I'll see if I can find a better one. But let's share this.
Well, if it's his backyard, wasn't somebody like in the house wondering where the hell he was all this time? Or
I don't think he has a Mary Jane. I don't know how to speak to that.
Enough.
I don't know if there was anyone. Yeah, people were. I guess there was no one. No one around. And let me share the screen here. We don't need to share the audio. I'll just share that. And yeah, so there's our buddy Canadian Spider-Man. So you can see, he's got a fire going and he's in the back, his backyard. But you don't know where this is. This one doesn't have the Christmas tree up. But yeah, so but then this really scary thing was I said, well, I'm going to stay up just watching. And everyone was trying to figure out like how to get in touch with him. Does anyone have his number? Because then no one has his, no one has his number, right? So a few people that did were asleep. This was like 2 or 3 in the morning. So Darius Munchausen finally, I think, called Trent from Michigan, called Canada, and we're trying to get in touch with LT because we know he's Canadian and different Canadian members, and there are a few people, I guess, that knew his name and address from, a couple of people knew him from streaming, had that info.
So I guess he got doxxed last night.
Well, I guess yes, and unintentionally. Yeah, it's like crap. The police know. The police know where I am now.
Saved your life, whatever. Yeah,
yeah. But the worst part was then he woke up at like 4 in the morning or 5 in the morning, and he was screaming.
Are people still watching at this part, Mark? At this point, like 4 in the morning.
The stream went for 20 hours. Yeah, so like 20 people. Okay. So he was streaming, and then. But then the stream never stopped. I guess because there's a power cord and he's on his house Wi-Fi. Wherever he said he has a repeater hooked up, and so he's able to get Wi-Fi out in his backyard. But I mean, you're in the it's 4 below 4 below freezing. So I guess like 28 degrees or whatever. For still cold. Still cold. But he was joking. Canadian. Not that bad. And yeah, so you can see like he's got some lights here on the left there. So I don't know.
I mean, he looks pretty mobile and aware there.
Oh no, this is not the stream. The stream is down. So I don't know if he
okay, this is an older stream. I got you. Okay, you're setting the scene here. Okay, I got you.
Yeah, it's the scene setter. Yeah, so he had. I guess he removed the stream, or maybe it was too long to. Maybe YouTube removes streams that are 20
too embarrassing. Yeah, it's one of those things.
Yeah. So here's the stream. Maybe this is the stream. Maybe it's one. All right, so I'll put this one up. This is a little bit newer. So I'll put this one up here. This gives you a picture of the Christmas tree, which is nice here. Yep. I think this is I don't know if this is the stream, but here you can see the Christmas tree back here, and he's not wearing gloves. I don't know if this is the night or. That just sets the picture anyway, so it doesn't matter. But the horrifying thing was they're saying that's his Christmas stream. Okay, there it is. Yep. So thank you, Hungry Boy. Yep. So at least you see the nice Christmas tree there, and he's got the Canadian flag going. And he woke up screaming like, "Help me, help me!" He's like, "Oh my!" And he was swearing MF and all kinds of things. And we're like, everyone just freaked out, because someone wakes up and you're he's on the other side of the continent. You can't get to him, and we tried to Discord, call him a Discord, but I guess thankfully he somehow made it into his house. He lost a boot in the process, I guess. So about like 3 o'clock today, East Coast time or whatever, Darius was able to get in touch with the RMCP, and so then Canadian Spider-Man came on, and Captain Marty Spock was in the stream after, talking about all this, and he, the police were at the door, and they said, "Are you Canadian Spider-Man?" I guess, and yeah, and he I guess they went to, he's like, can you show me, where you stream or where the, the fire pit is? So I guess his laptop was still going this whole time. So his laptop was still
Did you guys
streaming.
see like the Mounties and stuff like walking a frame?
Yeah. So well, what had happened was actually earlier, like a neighbor had come, I guess, and seen the laptop and tried to end the stream. So you saw the person, the neighbor came and was talking to the other person that was still in the stream. So it was Anon. Oh, I can't remember his his handle, but he stayed on the whole time because he was streaming with Canadian Spider-Man, and he stayed on the whole time just to see what was, to wait till he knew
Yeah, that's a
anything.
heck of a position. It's not like you'd be a jerk if you left almost. I mean,
Yeah, yeah. So it was. Hey, Hal Courtney, how's it going? Oh yeah, this is where you can see that it's his backyard with a tree and the fire. Hope you have a good night, Courtney. And I tell you the link, Courtney, too, if you feel like popping in. No, if you don't want to, that's fine. But if you want to pop in and say hi, it's all good.
So Mark, when he was screaming all, like, did his feet catch on fire? Or was he having night terrors?
Well, I think the fire went out, and he was so drunk that he had no idea where he was. So,
well, the neighbor
he
didn't
did,
kind of
but
like bring him inside or something.
no. This was what had happened was, I think it was like 3 a.m. his time. I think he finally made it in to his house.
Okay.
Thank God. As he said, he had drunk spidey sense.
Right.
He made it into his house and like went to bed, but everyone's panicking because they don't, we didn't know where it was. Like, could he even get to his house, or it was in the woods
Yeah,
somewhere?
did he got in the woods behind him? Yeah.
But I mean, it was on his property, thank God. So it was
Right.
near where he lives. So he was okay, thank God. So that was all good. And but we didn't know that. We're like, until like people, some really smart people, um, started watching older streams to try to figure out and like listen to like some of these streams, like, oh, this is in my backyard, or so they knew. We knew he wasn't like on on some mountain somewhere, at least, thank God.
Right.
And the people, you start hearing noises like, is there a not that Stortopoopas Cuba is not a friendly bear, but what kind of wildlife is out there? What's going on out there? So thankfully, he came in, and then in the morning, I guess, early in the morning, that's when his neighbor showed up and told us that it was, in hindsight, it's hysterical, but his neighbor came by, he's like, is this still streaming? He's like, and he's talking to the guy in the stream. He's like, well, I'm going to try to shut down the stream now, and he closed the lid to the laptop, but I guess the StreamYard still keeps going. Courtney, I did send it to Discord. It should be in Discord. I'll send it again if you didn't get it. If you want to check Discord, thanks. And so the stream was going and going and going for like up to 20 hours. So then he came on tonight, and of course we're teasing. He was drinking a beer, and and he's like, I'm not firing on all cylinders right now, but I think I need to get to bed. And he's like, I'm gonna go watch Doomcock for a little bit, and then
yeah, he riches for Doom.
Yeah. So he's like, oh wait, is Doomcock on? What time is it? Yep. Thanks, Courtney. Yep. And so we can laugh now, obviously, because he's okay. But he gave everyone a big scare. So
now, Mark, this is what throws me off a little bit, though, and I don't understand this. I wish Lord Toth was with us. We never invite him on Sundays. Maybe we should.
Oh yeah, but I think usually it's too late for him. He said, but
that is true. Yeah. But I don't understand like how the Mounties work. Like, you would think that something like the local police would come out. Like, I know there's Toronto police because I've seen them before. Like, I've seen Toronto City Police now where he lives. I mean, to me, it sounds like sometimes they sound like they're like almost like the equivalent of state police.
I think
but then
so.
Sometimes you talk and they're like the equivalent of the FBI, and then sometimes so they're like a national force, but I guess they're in charge of all kinds of different things. I don't quite understand how it works.
Yeah, I think they're. This is one of my best friends. Tell the rice patty story. Yeah, Brian. I think I might tell that. And Tilt-O-Wait, that's from the game Wizardry. So that's the best spell in Wizardry that you could cast, especially if you got you're level all the way up to the top. So, but yeah, so I'll have to tell everyone, tell everyone that story. But yeah, Courtney, I think this was on Eastern time. I think he passed out around 1 o'clock Eastern or 2 o'clock Eastern. So the stream is down now, but yeah, I think it was well into the stream. It was pretty late, and he's on. I guess where he is, it's California time. So he's 3 hours behind. So sunset's like 6:30 ish or whatever. So thankfully he made it inside, but yeah, it was dark for dark for quite a while. So yeah, so he used his spidey sense uh, to get in. So get into the house. So yeah, thankfully, but we had no idea. No one knew. Like it's one thing if the stream kept going up and funny, and then yeah, and so thankfully, yeah, I guess yeah, Courtney was Captain Trek was talking about, and then they found him. So he wasn't missing. Thank God he was in his house, but he was very thankful to the streamers and everyone that everyone in the chat that was trying to figure out how to get to him. And now and he's a scout, not a Boy Scout. He was it's a Eagle Scout. I think they call it a Gold Scout in Canada. The highest. So I'm gonna tease him. You're always supposed to have the buddy system. You're always supposed to have a buddy with you, someone that can help you out. But so yeah, it was all ended well, and then so he ended up with getting 30 new subs, and I guess that stream had 60 likes. It was his most watched video. Yeah, Courtney, he is a badass in the woods. He knows his way around the woods, and he's a scout. And but one of the of course, this is his backyard. But one of the main rules is you always have a buddy. You never go, never do anything without a buddy, or even telling people your itinerary. Even if you're going to go for a hike, somewhere, you tell people. Well, that's that famous story of the guy that had his lost his arm. That was 27 hours or. He was hiking and he got trapped under the rock out
no,
west.
it's longer than that. It's like 120 something hours.
120, yeah. So, yeah, but yeah, that's why you always have a buddy system in scouting. Wherever you go, especially camping, or at least someone knows. Hey, if you don't hear from me, but
camping, swimming, shots, whatever y'all are doing.
Yeah. So. Yeah, so you have a buddy system, which is good. So I guess now that we made fun of Canadian Spider-Man, now it's okay. I can tell tell my story. Says my buddy Tiltawait.
Boy, before you do that, Mark, were you an Eagle Scout?
Yeah, I'm an Eagle Scout. Yep.
Did you ever sneak alcohol or cigars or anything on a camping trip when you were a scout?
I cannot answer that question. You're gonna get me in big trouble. Let's just say that
those are sealed till 2035. So
as a camp counselor in the summertime, maybe 1 or 2 beers ended up on the weekend, but that would be if you're an 18-year-old or 21-year-old, on the weekend, you're never never drinking, when you're dealing with the kids or anything like that. But yeah, there were no crazy parties or it was nothing. Maybe some of the college age guys had a few beers or something. But yeah, in the scouting events, you're not supposed to have any alcohol, especially the parents. It's like we had some troubles with some campouts where Cub Scouts where the parents get together and they're drinking and having fun all night and keeping everyone up. It's like, and they're like, "Were you drinking?" No, and they're like, "Well, how come there's 20 bottles of wine and beer bottles in the dumpster?"
Yeah, shut up! You're not going to earn your knives today.
Yeah. So, Courtney says, "I knew someone in Colorado got frostbite so badly his hands are black they had to amputate." Ooh, yeah, it's Canadian Spider-Man was actually saying today that a lot of people in Canada lose fingers and stuff because they're out in the cold, and something happens, you get trapped out there, then boom, then you never know. It's seriously cold weather too. It's not like here where once in a while it gets cold, or it's consistently really, really cold, and the colder it is, the
hard to climb a wall with no toes, man. He's gonna have to be careful.
Yeah, so he's okay. Someone asked him, "Did you woke up to look for your fingers?" He's like, "Actually, no." He didn't think. I guess he was. It was only like, as he said, only like -4, so it was nothing for him yet. But it's yeah, it's not something you want to mess around with. And I think once you get frostbite too, you're much more susceptible to having that happen again. So and this makes for a good story. So, but yeah, so I guess I'll tell my rice patty story. So one of my this is high school. One of my friends' uh, uh, parents were away for the weekend, so hey, let's have a small party, watch movies, we'll drink and hang out. A couple of guys, like girlfriends, over. It wasn't a big party. It was just like some close friends. So not even like, I wouldn't even call it a party. Just hanging out. And so one of the friends, one of the guys was older, so gotten some stuff to drink, and it was I guess a fifth of vodka, a small bottle of vodka. I don't know what the size is, or pint or whatever the size is. And so we're sitting down for a nice quiet evening. We had Chinese dinner, uh, Chinese food, lots of rice, and we pop Invasion USA in. And my friend's girlfriend says, "Oh, Mark, I bet you can't finish that." I was, I had barely, young, and hadn't had anything to drink before, really. A few beers here and there, and maybe a sip of things or two. And she's like, "I bet you can't chug that or finish that." So safety tip: if someone ever asks you to chug or dares you to chug alcohol, the answer is always no. Do not do that. Never do that. And even though it was a small, I guess it was like a soda can, maybe 16 ounces. I don't know what the heck the size 8, what whatever the size was, but it was way too much. And of course, you're invincible. You're 18, and you think you're nothing can hurt you. So I'm like, I'll show you. So chugga 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 chugga, and so I'm watching Invasion USA, and Chuck Norris is kicking ass, and then the scene where the terrorists get to the shopping mall, and I'm like, guys, who's spinning the room? Stop spinning the room. And like, Mark, what? I'm like, the room is spinning. Could you please stop spinning the room? So So I don't want to go into all the gory details in perpetuity on YouTube, but it didn't end well for me that night. So
I would think some type of motion sickness would have kicked in at that point, Mark.
Well, I mean, it was just way too much alcohol. So yeah, it did. I was like, what the hell is going on? And then back then too, you're 18. I was working out all the time, jogging. Like you're in peak quote unquote physical condition. So if I did that today, it probably would have killed me. But so we so my friend said, I started getting sick, I want to keep this, PG, but so the rice patty joke was for the dinner. So for years it's been the memorial rice patty in the backyard at my friend's house. And I just remember they said, we sent you out to get your sleeping bag in the car. He's saying we're sleeping over, and they said it took you an hour, like you crawled out there, to get your sleeping bag. And I guess they just put me in the bathroom, I guess. So I woke up next to the kitty litter in the bathroom on the floor. I didn't even know what. It was just a mess. So, and then I really should have been in the hospital. I mean, we joke about it, but if you ever see someone, do something stupid like that, or that drunk or that sick, get them help.
That happened to me.
So, yeah, Courtney says, I learned that the hard way when I was 14. I never drank Sambuca again. Yep. I made a mess over my stepdad's brand new Mercedes on the dashboard. Yep. No, that's okay, Courtney. It's all good. Yeah, I just don't want to get too. Some people don't like that, hearing that stuff. It doesn't bother me, but yeah, not to gross people out too much. But most of us, knock on wood, I think have been there. Yeah. Yeah, Courtney did the same thing. I woke up, my head in the kitty litter. Yeah. Oh, so yeah, the things you did when you were drunk. So it's
yeah. Well, Mark, down here we have what we call the actually we don't call it this. Everybody else calls it this. the Redneck Riviera. We just call it the Gulf Coast, which is mostly Mississippi. Sometimes, if you're feeling fancy pants, you might head out to Orange Beach, which is in Alabama, the other side of Mobile, before you hit Florida. But we were doing our time down there. We would go down at Easter. Sometimes we go in the winter too, which was kind of cool. You know, it would be like too cold to swim, but you hang out at the beach, maybe make a fire, drink and stuff.
Hang out, yeah.
But one time we were in Bay St. Louis, which is a good, I'd say 40 minutes out of Biloxi, kind of right outside of New Orleans. But there were beaches there. That's where a lot of people owned houses. And they were like little bitty, almost like what you'd call a camp, other places, you know, like where the electrical wiring would kind of like run outside. They would be like stapled to the wall. You know what I'm talking about? Like those kind of camps.
Just like well, it's normal. It's not Romex. It's UF cable usually. Yeah, but underground.
So we decided we decided like let's like really kind of live it up, and we'll get a hotel room and we'll get it in Destin for like just 2 nights, and then we'll go to Destin and we'll do it towards the end so that there'll be some open rooms and stuff. So we loaded up the car in Bay St. Louis. We didn't tell our parents. We were probably all like 17, 18 at the time, you know.
Yeah.
And we drove down to Destin, checked in the room, had some drinks, went to sleep, went out and did the beach thing and all, and then that night we came back home. But of course we had bought a bunch of food back to the hotel, and our one friend Mikey was drinking, and there were 6 of us, and we decided we were all going to stay in a room, right? So there were 2 of us in each of the 2 beds, and then Mike was like super drunk, so it's like, you're going to lay on the floor, Michael. And then the other guy slept on this, like, he was guy was like 5'2", so he used to sleep on whenever you go where people
you sleep the opposite way, right?
He'd sleep on a love seat, but in this case, you know how they have those little like benches that you could sit at the foot of the bed, like to put your shoes on and stuff, you know what I'm talking about? Like those cushion benches.
He would sleep on that?
He pushed 2 of those together, and that's where he was sleeping with a sleeping bag.
Oh, that's hysterical.
So at about 2:30 in the morning, man, like something out of a movie, Mike starts getting up, and I'm a real light sleeper. My daddy was the same way, and I mean, anything wakes me up. And I don't know if I told you this before, but I know I've told some other people in the YouTube sphere this, but I'm also a super sleeper, right? So I only sleep about 4 or 5 hours a night. I don't usually sleep more than that. And that's just kind of how my body, I've been tested. The doctor's like, if you feel like you need to sleep more, you know? And I will take like a power nap in the middle of the day. It does catch up with me a little bit, but for the most part, even if I make myself sleep, I can't usually sleep for more than about 5 hours. So Mike, I'm like, Mike, what are you doing? Where are you going, buddy? And he's like, the bathroom. I'm like, okay, Mike, go to the bathroom. So I lay down, and I still hear him like walking around. I'm like, God damn, you know, and the lights are off and everything. So I kind of do the clocks, the red clocks with the shining letters, right? I kind of turn the clock, and I notice Mike's over by. Now, keep in mind, dude, like there's 6 of us, right? So all of our luggage is stacked in one pile in the thing, except for our buddy who's this prima donna, right? You know, he like takes the case and everything. So so I hear him like moving stuff around, and I hear him peeing, and I'm like, Mike, and I turn the lights on real quick. And when I did, everybody else woke up, right? Well, we have one friend, like a couple of us jump up, and we're like, Mike, no, stop doing that. We can't get over each other. But we have this one friend who's so close to him, and he's laying there laughing. So finally, my friend Chris gets up, and he's like, call Mike, and he brings Mike into the bathroom. And Chris is laughing. And I turn to him and I go, I don't know what you're laughing at, AH. You can imagine what AH stands for.
Yeah,
that was your suitcase he was just pissing in. And he got up, he was like, damn it. And like he had taken that really nice, you know, the little fold out thing that you put your suitcase on. When we all got there, he took that thing first, right? He put his fancy suitcase on it. We all had like garbage bags and he urinated over everything he had. So when we left the next morning, he was still in pajama bottoms and a t-shirt and flip-flops because Mike had urinated over everything.
And
that guy today is now a dentist. So if you go get your teeth fixed in South Louisiana, it could be from a guy who urinates in suitcases. So just people. So I was not the mark in that story, but that was the best mark I've ever seen. That was pretty great.
I mean, these are all fun stories you can, you can
well, it's
tell,
always fun until
after
somebody
the harm.
dies, right?
Yeah. Well, as I say, like my wife's, grandmother, unfortunately, was, killed by a drunk driver back in the 80s when, nothing happened to those people, now they're, you at least get punished. Of course, it doesn't bring you person back, or people have an accident or something, famous, all the famous rock singers. We don't want to go through that, but, yeah, right. I mean, anything in excess is, we sound like a party pooper, but all these are fun stories, years later. But, yeah, so then to finish my story, so, the next day was my sister.
I thought your story was done.
No.
I thought it was about as good as
there's more to it. But,
okay.
No, not much more, but, yeah. So, well, you can imagine the rest, but I was a wreck. So, that was the Saturday night. So Sunday was my sister's first Holy Communion. So I went home. I finally made it home. I guess who the hell knows? I mean, I don't know what time I shouldn't swear. Hell yeah. But, what time the mass was, but I guess it was later probably, but I'd made it home. I'm like, Mom, I'm not feeling so good today. I don't know if I can make it to her, to the mass today. Hey, we're doing good, Brett Cohen. Thanks for stopping by. We were talking about Canadian Spider-Man and led into some drinking stories, and thankfully he's okay. I don't know if you heard that story, but, cheers, Brett Cohen. And, so,
Mark, I have news for you. Your parents knew exactly what you did. That you probably probably kind of your pores or something.
No, my mom had no clue till years later. She still don't believe me. She's like, "You wouldn't do that, Mark. You're a, straight-laced guy who never would have done that."
Guy.
Yeah, you would never. And I was never into never got into trouble or, did anything. Little stuff, but wasn't. If you like pick 100 kids in the class, like who would be the least likely to do that? That would be me. So I'm like, I went to bed, and I think it was like, and we're in an Italian family, so this is a big, big deal. Everyone's over.
Dude, yeah. If you're Irish, that doesn't cut it. It's like you're going to mass unless you're in the hospital. That's your two choices.
Yeah. Well, I obviously didn't look well. I mean, I don't, there's no pictures from back then. But so I went on the scale the next. Well, I finally made it back down in the afternoon, and my cousins, they're like brothers to me. They're like, "You don't look so good. Like, what happened last night?" I'm like, "Oh, I'm just not feeling good." I guess some people watched. I'm reading what Brett said. Yeah, Brett. Yeah, so yeah, Canadian Spider-Man's okay. He's all good, thank God. Yeah, he was. The stream is down. It was too long, but he's all good. He's okay, thank God. He recovered. Yep. But, yeah, so I think my older cousins had a clue. But I went on the scale, like I went to put my my jeans on, and they fell off on the next Monday morning. And I weighed 185, and I was tip top shape, really good shape, weightlifting, working out, and I weighed 160 the next day, so I lost 25 pounds. Or maybe more, who knows? Because that was Monday, and like I had to pull the belt. That's not the way to lose. It was all it's all water.
I was going to say, Mark, you realize that was probably because you were severely dehydrated.
Oh God, yeah. Well, but think of it like when you're there was no extra. When I was 185, there was really no extra, on me. It was like it wasn't like I was I am now with plenty of padding. Wasn't much padding then, so to lose 25 pounds overnight. I had severe alcohol poisoning. So yeah, so do not do that. Not recommended. And yeah, like even the school on Monday, I remember like my friends are like, one girl's like, "You don't look so good." She's like, "You look a lot skinnier than usual." It's like, yeah, then now years later, we all like my friend Tiltaway popped in. They're all, it's a running joke. It's like, "How's the rice paddy doing at so and so's house?" So yeah, so it's one of those funny things you can talk about years later. But yeah,
Mark, I've never heard that before. That's pretty bad, dude.
Yeah, it was bad. I didn't drink for a long time after that. And I'm not a big drinker to this day. And like in college, like you see people like puking like every weekend, drinking till they get sick. It's like, are you having fun doing this? It's like, not that I'm casting stones, like I've never done it, but it's like every weekend. Do you want to do this? I mean, it's But
did you
yeah,
go to a Catholic high school or a public high school?
no, it was public. I went Catholic primary and then
Okay.
public, and then went to a Jesuit school. But it was very lax on the drinking back then in the 80s, as you can imagine. So back in the day before we were there, like the priest used to buy the kids kegs and stuff. We had a Jesuit priest living a couple doors down in our dorm, so it's but they were fun and good to hang out with. They had to stop doing
it. The Jesuits have a big presence down here, very big presence in New Orleans. So yeah.
I think I've told that my New Orleans story about drinking too. Nothing unusual down there, but I'll make that a short one because I want to talk about getting drunk all night, I guess. But the missus and I were down there the night before the big casino opened down there, probably in the 90s, I guess. And
Harris, the one on the
I think it was Harris. Yeah, so we were across the street in a hotel and went there. It was actually free to, you couldn't win anything, but you had all the machines and slots were free. And you could play blackjack for free. It wasn't really, it was fun, but not.
Yeah, they were just promoing it. It's like a free.
Yeah, they test it. Yeah. So we went down to the French Quarter, and you guys down there, you have 4 for 1s, or was it a 4 for 1, or
it was probably 3 for 1.
Was it a 3 for? I think we were so early; it was like a 4 for 1. But whatever it was insanity. So we started drinking these things.
And it just drinks, so you know, right, Mark? Tell the crew that it's almost deceiving. It's not like they generally hand you 4 drinks. It's usually like in a big glass. They'll make 4 of them and put them in a and hand you like a 24-ounce tumbler of White Russian or something.
Yeah, so it was like in New Orleans. Yeah, so these are hurricanes, I think. Huge, real punch drinks. That was the missus' idea. But that wasn't too bad. Like if you have
1 hurricanes or 4 for 1 rum punches, that'll kill you. How much booze is in a hurricane?
Yes, I know. Well, now we know this. So so now we realize this. So we started like, what is this 3 for 1 or 4 for 1? It was like, oh my god! I was like, this is insanity. So so we're drinking this stuff and we're doing okay, having fun. We're pretty young and having fun. And at the bar, and I think the Yankees are in the World Series back. They were always in the World Series in the 90s back then. And so here we're, I guess here 20 iconic New Orleans. You'd know more than me, but just pull up something fun here, I guess. The old fashioned, I'm sure the Hurricane's going to be on. Yeah. These are fancy dancy drinks, but
a Sazerac at the Sazerac that was actually named there. That's a hotel.
Cool.
Yeah.
And so we I go back to get more drinks, and the bartender's like, "Would you like to walk home tonight or crawl home?" And the missus is next to me. This is one of our stories I always love telling. And she's like, "Crawl home," So I don't know if he didn't like her or, whatever. I swear there must have been grain alcohol or something in there because so we made new drinks and then, we got so totaled. It was, it was hysterical. It was like, so just the drink was just so powerful. And then we're coming back to like, when people play a joke with a salt shaker. Hey, Captain James C. Skywalker, hail. And they'd take the salt shaker off, so we went to get burgers. And I think with Clobbering Times, we figured out where that was one night. Actually, I think you were on the stream too. And we figured out the hamburger place. They cook the hamburgers in hubcaps or cover them with hubcaps.
Oh yeah, we sure did. That's the Lucky Cafe.
Lucky Cafe, thank you. So someone had played with the salt shaker and all the salt poured off onto the Mrs. Hamburger, but she brushed it off and ate it. And so we get back to the hotel and people are kind of laughing like at, the missus, she's going to kill me for saying this, but, she was kind of stumbling around. Like when they laugh at you for being drunk at New Orleans, you got to be pretty drunk, I guess, right? So, so it was a fun night, but it was, it was, and then we had them and I tried a little bit the next morning. It was the strongest thing I've ever had. It's like, these are going down the sink. It's like, it was like, and I had stopped drinking, thank God, because I realized, you're in not a strange, I'm not used to the city there. I don't know it. So I'm like, I better stop drinking. Hey, Phantom Outsider, how's it going? So, all right, they got to have a hurricane on here. Where's the gin fizz? Well, that looks good. There's got to be a hurricane. But what's your favorite spot?
It's going to be number one, Mark. It's going to be at the, or at the. It's going to be the last one. It's going to be at Oh, there's the hand grenade. That's pretty famous. The tropical owl.
Yeah, that must be. Well, that's kind of the thing that we're drinking. You know, it's like a big thing like that. Hand grenade. You know, what could go wrong? Yeah.
So you were drinking at the
Oh, here we go. Pat O'Brien's.
Pat O's, yeah.
Only number 15. Come on. I don't remember if we were patios or where we were, but it was, it was definitely a hurricane. So
yeah, everybody's kind of taking the hurricane. So
right, and it's basically like a fruit. What's in there? It's got to be a fruit drink, right? It's like it's a sweet drink. I don't know what the heck.
Oh yeah. It's some kind of juice base, and of course everything has rum in it. Yeah, so it's rum and
yeah. So it's yeah, just no Long. That's actually my favorite drink is a Long Island iced tea. Hungry Boy, funny you mention that because I'm not a big drinker, but I go out and have one Long Island iced tea. And if you don't know what it's a Long Island iced tea, if you don't know what that is, it's basically made to taste like iced tea.
But it really does taste like iced tea.
If you have a good bartender who knows what he's doing and makes it well, yes, it tastes exactly like iced tea. It goes down easy. It's basically all alcohol. It's like 5 or 6 different types of alcohol mixed together
with some Sprite
and a splash of Coke for the color. Yep.
Right.
Yep. Just for the color.
Yep. Sprite, a little bit of Coke, but not too fizzy because you don't want it fizzy because iced tea isn't carbonated. So
it's very little. It's basically like 5 or so they charge you like for 5 or 6 drinks there, and but that's my go-to. My go-to drink was always a Long Island iced tea. Yeah. So it's good stuff. Yep. Yeah, hurricane sounds like it needs more alcohol than a Long Island iced tea just to settle the nerves at once.
Oh, it does. A real hurricane. It has both. It has a light and a dark rum, and it's usually 2 ounces each. So that's 4 ounces just of that lime juice, and then it has some kind of. I think is it orange juice? I know it's got like passion fruit, like concentrate or something like that. And it usually some kind of simple syrup. And of course, then they garnish it with pieces of fruit like oranges and cherries and stuff. Yeah.
Courtney knows her drinks. Yeah, Coke and a splash of sour mix. Yep, definitely the sour mix. Yeah, that gives you that lemony flavor. Yep. So if it's if you like, some bartenders just can't make it. But there was some places I always go to, and that would be my go-to drink, and I just have one of those for the night, and then you're all set. Yeah. So we've turned this into the drinking show tonight, which is all good. It's all fun. We never know what we're going to talk about here, but if anyone wants to share their drunken stories in the chat, so I'm not the only one that Courtney did a little bit, but but yeah, it's that hurricane is super famous drink. Well, here we go to Pat O'Brien's, right? That's probably the most famous place, right?
That's about as famous as you get, yeah.
Right. I mean, how long has that been open? I mean,
oh God,
must be forever, right?
Sometimes, yeah. I mean, way before any of us.
Yeah, having fun since 1933. Yep. World famous drinks, and the dueling pianos. Yeah, the music down there is fantastic. And God,
that's pretty impressive. Yeah, you have to try out for that because it's not just one group of people that play the piano. As you can imagine, that goes on like 12 hours a day, sometimes 7 days a week, pretty much everything but Christmas. Yeah. So there's like 2 or 3 groups that do that. And generally you have to have been playing piano professionally for a couple of years, and you got
to be good.
And you have to be able to duel with somebody. So generally it's 2 people who practice together and try out. Yeah. It's a big deal. There's the rainbow. You could get the rainbow as a shot too.
Wow. So Hungry Boy said there's never been a decent Long Island made in Australia ever. Well, Hungry Boy, you just got to try it yourself or make it yourself. And actually here they actually sell Long Island iced tea, drink mix, in a bottle, get out alcohol, or they sell it actually pre-made sometimes too, just, but usually a good bartender makes it better. But yeah, so let's see these Bloody Marys. So like you said, Pat, yeah, so 8 ounces in that of alcohol, right? 4 ounces, 4 ounces.
Yeah, because if you get, that's called the hurricane glass, Mark, and actually you can buy those glasses and bring them home. A lot of people do. Also, if it's slow, and there's a little staff on, if you ask them, you usually have to ask them this, but if you say, hey, if I go collect some glasses for you guys, will you give me a free hurricane? And they'll be like, sure. And they'll say, but you got to bring us 12 glasses. So
wow.
you go, yeah, and you'll see people like bussing their own tables. You're like, why are they doing that? Because you probably get a free drink at the deal.
Yeah.
Because they have to really take care of those glasses, because they serve them in there and people try to steal them and everything. But instead of stealing, just go. I think they're like $5 to go buy one.
Yeah.
And it's in a nice container that's got the styrofoam in it, so it won't break in your luggage and everything.
Oh, they sell it now with a way to transport it. Then
It's just like you could, for years and years. I have one on my counter in the kitchen with a bunch of matchbooks and stuff in it from different places. Yeah.
I don't think we brought ours back. I think I'm trying to remember something we brought back. Some really big something we brought back from New Orleans. It might be in the basement somewhere. Yeah.
Actually, Mark, I could promise you this: you could probably buy any glass you see in here. Anything that's got printed on it, they'll sell it.
Because it's easy to find. Yeah.
It makes sense too. It's a good one. Yeah. The cat vibe.
So that's 2 ounces plus 2 ounces, 4 ounces, but in a small glass. So that must be almost all alcohol. God, the mint julep. That sounds good. Right, Skylab. Sky is falling. Oh my God, how much alcohol is in there? Oh no, it's just. I was gonna say.
It's little half ounces.
Yeah, half ounces. All right. Yeah, and then mix. But yeah, those are classic. Yeah. And it's a good, fun place too. I guess it's not. Would you call it a tourist trap? But I think it's pretty people love it. It
is weird. Most of the quarter is not locals hanging out, but it is not strange at all to see locals and patos. That's pretty famous. Okay. And of course, it's real close to Brennan's too. And Brennan's is one of the apex restaurants. Brennan's is, you've probably seen it before on like the Travel Channel. That's the place that has the Rex room. Where they have the King's Dinner and stuff, and it's where they have these really nice rooms in this really old building, and and the quarter.
Yeah. No, it's the music there is fantastic too. So that's what's part of the draw there too. Is you go, listen to jazz and music all night, and we don't get. Yeah,
there's some great places. That's not where you want to go hear jazz. Where you want to go hear jazz is on the outskirts of the quarter.
Yeah, we went to.
I don't necessarily mean out of the quarter, but like along the river, kind of like where the French Market is and stuff and all. That's where you're going to hear your best. That's where you'll find a Marcellus playing and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'd of course the famous, what's the jazz? What's the underground? What's the jazz place there that's super famous? Mind is blanking.
Gee, Mark, I don't know. I'm with your whole.
The underground. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but it's called the. Here, I'll look it up here. But I mean, a ton of jazz places, obviously.
It's funny. You'll probably say it to me. I don't even realize it's underground because I live here. But
no, but the name, I think it's like underground. Oh, I'm stream braining, but there's trying to remember the name of it, but it's like here. I'm gonna Google famous New Orleans jazz. That's going to come up as one of the what the heck was it? All right,
and of course, any place in Storyville is going to be pretty good because that's kind of where we're 99% sure that's where it was born. So if you go to some place like
Preservation Hall.
That's Preservation Hall. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah, well, that's Preservation Hall. That's to preserve. Yeah, that's actually subsidized.
Yeah. So of course you go there to listen. I mean, there's a ton of places there, but right. Of course,
Also, too, I'll tell you this: if you're ever here and you want some place that's clean, it's safe and everything, and you can eat there and all, and have drinks at a reasonably priced. There, you can actually go to the of all places, the House of Blues, but go to the Founders Room because they might have actually 2 or 3 things going on at one time with music. They might have a big show going on. But in the Founders Hall, they'll always have like at least a jazz trio or a quartet playing and stuff. And those guys are really good professional jazz musicians. People have been playing their whole life. The Bombay Club has a little place like that too. That's all in the quarter. But yeah, Preservation Hall is very famous because it was built to be preserver of history of jazz. So
No, it was so much fun to see that and go there. Yep. So some great stuff. Yep. Courtney's saying she could crank out Long Island iced teas. Yep. We got to get one to Hungry Boy. Yep. That should be great. Yep. Captain Marty's Puck. Kind of. No, it's Captain Marty's Puck. That's LDS actually. Yep. And Courtney's a musician too, so she's in the chat. And she's a really good musician. Yep. She went to
back in Courtney's
music
drinking
college in
days.
Berkeley.
She probably would have liked working at the piano bar there because the piano players drink free too.
Oh,
plus
nice,
their
nice.
tips. Yeah, they don't make a big salary. Now they're all in the musicians union. I forget what we would call it now, but it's what we used to call the musicians union. So those guys all have health insurance and stuff too. So that's really nice.
Yeah, so Courtney went to the Berkeley School of Music, which she said on streams before. So it's which is not. I always worry about giving away private information, but she's said that. So yeah, it's a fantastic school, and it's not Berkeley College in California. It's Berkeley.
I was going to say because when I think of jazz, I don't think of Berkeley, California.
Yeah, yeah, it's spelled differently. Yeah. So yeah, but that's what's fun too when you have great great music to go with your drinking. It's just really.
Where'd you stay at, Mark, when you were down there?
Well, that time we stayed. Let's see, where's the casino here?
You must have stayed at one of the big hotels then, huh?
Yeah, it was a big hotel.
Go to Canal Street. It's at the foot of Canal, right by the river, buddy. See the bridge? So it's going to be a little bit over from the bridge, yeah, like where the ferry is.
I just go to the casino, right?
Yeah, let's see. Where are you? What does that say?
I'll go to the map. Back to the map view here. Yeah.
St. Louis to.
Sorry, yeah, it's
confusing. Yeah, you're kind of far from the quarter. Yeah, go down a little bit. Go back to where that point is.
Oh, here it is. Here it is. New Orleans Casino, right?
Yep, Harris.
Yeah, so we were in a hotel right across the street. Oh, we're in the Courtyard by Marriott. We're right here.
Okay, cool. All right.
So we were in a very fancy Courtyard by Marriott. Yep. And the missus always drives because she gets car sick. So I remember we pulled in. We got off the plane and we pulled in. And I guess let's see. Google is just so amazing. You go into the street here.
Yeah. I guess that's Mark, if you ever come back down, don't rent a car. It's too easy to get around without a car, especially if you're going to stay in the quarter. It's more trouble to have it than it's worth. It probably would cost you $100 to park it now for a couple of days.
Well, back then, this was the 90s. It wasn't too bad. But, we're doing a trade show down there, so we had to, take stuff back and forth all the time. And you're probably right, though. We didn't need it, but trying to see if of course it doesn't matter. But I think we pulled in there, and they're like, we're like, why is she? The girl answers like, why is she driving? Like, because I can't drive. I'm like, it was like, back then in the early 90s. It's kind of like, why do you let your wife drive? What's wrong with you?
That definitely sounds like the 90s. If you did that today, they'd probably report you.
Yeah. So here's the Courtyard right here. Yep.
Yep.
So.
Mark, go across the street real quick.
Yeah.
That is a very famous place. That is where a lot of people meet up. If you've ever heard of the Walk of the Nine Churches, y'all, which is a big deal in New Orleans and various places in Europe, that's a place where you go afterwards on Good Friday and you eat your meal there, right? Because you usually only eat a meal on Good Friday. And that little dinky place, if you look at it, you can tell it looks kind of out of place still because so much of it around it's new. But that facade of the building was actually incorporated to a new, larger building. And that place has been there probably for about 50, 60 years, definitely after World War II.
I'm sure
you want a pull boy, you want a real pull boy.
I think we probably went there too.
I would almost
guarantee the street.
Somebody in the hotel told you to go eat there because all the hotel employees eat there. Yeah.
I'm sure we probably did. Yeah. So thanks, Courtney. Yep. I just always be careful because then you have conversations with people off of being streaming, and then you're like, well, wait, what can I? You always want to be careful not to share, God forbid, something that's personal, private. But yeah, that's not too much given away. But yeah.
So, Mark, you're half Italian. You could tell me what that name is, right?
Which one?
For the pull boy place, huh?
Ceros.
We say Cereos.
Serios? I would say Seros, but who?
Okay.
Pronunciation of names is
yeah, but our Italians are probably different than your Italians, so that's
yep. Oh, take care, Courtney. Yeah, thanks for stopping by. Hope you have a great week. Yep, and yep. So whenever you can join in, that'd be great. Yep.
Actually, Mark, when Claudia and I were coming up, and our parents even, the French Quarter was no longer French; it was almost all Italian and Italian immigrants. Yeah, the Cathedral School and all were all Italian people. And now, of course, it's everybody. It's a real amalgamate of people, and
things change.
Mostly non-New Orleanians, like people who just like, I'm going to go live in New Orleans, and they'll go rent a place in the quarter for $1,000. It's the size of your closet.
Yeah, I guess that's the casino there. Yeah, there you go. Casino. Yep. So that was fun to be there. Yep. That's.
Well, you're due, man. You're due for another trip.
Yep. Have a great night, Brett. I get Peach going to. Well, don't say. I hope Brett's. I hope that's mistyping there, Brett. But have a great night. Yeah. Hope that's not what I think it is. That's just a mistyping. Yep. So yep. Be safe, Brett. Yep. But yeah, so it's a great town to visit, and of course you get those great great stories about drinking too much. Yeah, and then they have Harrah's down. How many casinos are down there now? Let's see, you got Harrah's, you got wow.
There's 3 in New Orleans proper. Keep in mind, we have parishes, not counties, and our whole parish is also our whole city. So we have 3 in proper, and we have 2 in suburbs, Metairie and a place on the West Bank, which is the other side of the river.
Okay.
And that's the Aquarium of the Americas and the IMAX Theater right there.
That was fun to visit. Yep. That was nice. Yep.
That's our World Trade Center right there, that white building.
Yeah. Well, when we went to visit, that was the first casino opening down in New Orleans, so that was the first one.
First land base.
First land base, the riverboat, the riverboats. Now, of course, gambling's everywhere now. But, and of course, since we're on the map here, we're gonna look at for beignets, right?
Yeah, that would be Café Du Monde, which would be
just close to there. I think where we're
back in the heart of the quarter, right?
Oh, went to the airport. Yep. French Market.
That's Kenner. That's a completely different city. Come back.
Yeah, come back. Yeah, why are you taking me there? Wait, where did it take me? This is the one, right? Where it's
No, you're in City Park, buddy. There is a Café Du Monde in City Park, but that's City Park. Right? City Park's like the middle of the city. You want to be back at the waterfront and the French Quarter.
It's in Decatur Street, isn't it? Isn't that the one?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's right across from Two Jacques. Well, catty corner from Two Jacques.
Yeah. There wait. Now where's it? All right.
That's the one in the mall. Yeah, you got to realize there's like 50 Café Du Mondes.
Well, now they've.
Yeah. But yeah, the original French Quarter one is the one you want to go to, which is like a big open air restaurant.
All right, so where is that Padas? Let's
go down. Keep going that way. Keep going the way you're going. You want to make right. Keep going.
Jackson Square. It's right down here, isn't it?
Right there you go. Yeah, it should stop. They see Café Du Monde. Stop, Mark. See the orange coffee cup.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah.
That's
it. I've been there a few times. Yeah,
and it's big, guys. Now it's not that whole thing, but where you see the green awnings. That's it, and it's pretty big. Yeah. Even that doesn't really do it justice, right, Mark? Because it goes deeper and further back, and
so it goes down this way a little bit. Not the whole building, like you said.
Exactly right. There's shops and stuff there, and all right. Exactly.
That's a fun place to go. Yeah, so you can see.
Yeah.
People are lined up because those beignets are great. Yep.
Yeah. And Decatur's like the main drag, y'all, of the quarter, but it's also the closest to the river. I mean, obviously you have Bourbon Street, but you don't really want to go driving up and down Bourbon Street. And frankly, I don't know if you even can anymore. Like it used to be when it was open during the day.
Yeah.
You could drive down it. But there again, guys, even as a local, don't bring your car, if you can. take an Uber or get dropped off.
We walked down here. I think we just walked down.
I mean, it's not worth trying to park. Somebody's going to hit it.
Yeah.
You know, you can take. They got the Ubers. They got the horse-drawn carriages that you could take. They got the little. Now they have the rickshaws, which are kind of cool.
Or you can take one of these. Now, of course, the pictures are taken different times, so not
right.
Horse and buggies.
And I don't recommend this, but if somebody looks safe and you're with a group of people, you know, if you're 3 big guys and a girl in a car goes, "Hey, you want to ride?" You can absolutely jump in a car with somebody. Yeah. There's surely not somebody down there looking to kill you.
Yeah.
You know.
Hey, Matthew Pounder, thanks for joining us. Yep. So we started talking about Canadian Spider-Man's okay. If you haven't heard that saga or the word, so thankfully he's all right. And then we started talking drinking stories, and somehow ended up back in the French Quarter because drinking stories lead to this spot, right? So yeah, but no, that's a lot of fun. Down there, gorgeous city to visit. So, and they usually pronounce my last name correctly, which is really nice because I have a French last name, and usually that name gets butchered. But everyone butchers people.
Hey, dude, we're required by law to take 2 years of French.
Oh, nice. I like.
If you're,
like it even more. Yep.
Usually you do it in grade school.
Yeah.
Yeah, we actually had a when we were in 7th grade, you got immersed. Like anybody that wasn't teaching science or math usually spoke in French at least most of the time. Yeah.
Nice, yeah. So if you had to pick like one spot to go in New Orleans, yep. So yeah. Matthew,
I would bring people uptown. That's where I would bring people.
Like, what's your favorite place to go if you had to pick like one restaurant and one we'll do one restaurant and one bar. Say we'll do one.
Oh, that's perfect. They're right by each other. We go there all the time. There's a place. Look up Frankie and Johnny's, and does Hefe's cigar bar. Which you do not have to smoke cigars. As a matter of fact, most of us don't. We sit outside anyway. You can sit outside.
I'm starring
all year round because even when that's the place I want to bring Clavi because then anybody who wants seafood, they're boiling seafood in the back and everything.
Nice. I love that.
But Mark, pull up their menu because I got to tell you something, guys. Even when I go there, I don't eat seafood. I don't get seafood anywhere. Actually, the best places in New Orleans to get seafood, if you're local, is they have little seafood shops, and you go in there and they do like shrimp and eggplant and stuff and everything and all that. But let's show everybody the appetizer menu.
Gumbo.
So if we went there, this is what I would get everybody at the table to get.
Okay.
I would get for appetizers. I would get, especially if y'all were new, I'd get a stuffed artichoke because it's just olive oil.
That's their thing.
Breadcrumbs and baked thing. It's pretty popular everywhere. It's more an Italian restaurant thing, but theirs is really good. Then I would get, you could do a combo if there was a small of us, but I would definitely get us 2 orders of onion rings and 2 orders of pepper rings, which they do. Are you ready for this, Mark? Red, green, and yellow bell peppers like onion rings.
Oh,
and they serve it with ranch and blue cheese. So it's
deep fried and breaded.
It's really good. And then I would have you and Clauby get the andouille gumbo there, which their seafood is good, but man, dude, I think they do their andouille in house, or they buy from like Chisasi's or something, which is a local ham house, and it is just exquisite.
Nice.
So, all right, don't load up on salad. So go down there. You can get a side salad if you want,
because
they do make their own dressings, but that's pretty good. But you could use it as a dip. Now, Mark, go up one. Believe it or not, no, wait here. Believe it or not, dude. That is some of the best chicken parmesan you can get. And there again, they're not an Italian restaurant, but they do it just right. They use Italian breadcrumbs and they do it perfect. This is what you want to get for your po' boy. I would either recommend, if you love seafood, you got to have something seafood. Don't get catfish. You can get that anywhere. Either get their shrimp or get their oyster. Okay. You could also get the Parmesan, either the eggplant or the chicken parm on their bread. They buy their bread fresh every day from Leidenheimer's, which is a French bread place.
That sounds good. Yep.
And you could also get a thing are you a roast beef ham guy, Mark? Do you like those two mixed?
I love everything, unfortunately. So.
Yeah. See that thing? Called the furred?
Let's see,
that's what that is.
Left?
It's hot roast beef, the roast beef gravy, and the ham, and they put the roast beef gravy on the ham. It's pretty good. Now, excellent. I don't get this here because they charge as much for it as they do. Usually, this is the cheapest thing you can get. But you see that French fry with debris? That is French fries with the roast beef debris gravy, where all the roast beef is flaked off, and the shank, and they put that over the French fries, and it's excellent. But it's $13. I can get that for $5 other places. I'm not going to pay that for that thing.
Good, but overpriced.
Right, exactly. Yeah. There again, if we were all together as a group, I would get them if you asked me to. They'd cut them in 4s. And yeah, you just go, okay, who really wants to try this? Because we'll cut it in, right, exactly.
Because it's good, yeah.
And Mark, they par fry all their fries. So their French fries, they're really good too. They're like that crisp on the outside and like a baked potato on the inside, yeah.
So everyone's going to leave the stream and go eat now.
That's true. And then if you go down more, this is the specials. And this is what I would tell people like Raquel.
Yeah.
Do they have the specials or is that a different menu?
Let's see.
Are you down as far as you can go? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Boiled of course, like I told you, right? They're boiling everything. So they're char grilling oysters out on the dock. They're boiling the shrimp. They're boiling crawfish if it's in season.
I don't know if I've had a char grilled oyster before. Usually I just do them raw, but
yeah, and they do it different ways too, buddy. They do it one where they stole this from Drago's, right? It's the oyster with a little bit of Worcestershire, some onion, and Parmesan cheese, and they roast it and melt it on there, and it's like eating, I don't know, like a really tasty cheese appetizer. I mean, they're just really good.
Oh, nice.
That's good. And then for your platters, your best deal. By the way, here's the note that's really good, but I would not recommend getting it. But I've had it before. Their chicken tenders, like I say, they have really good chicken, and they do it like their parm, but they do it in tenders, and they just stack it on this freaking mile-high plate of French fries. So sometimes we'll actually get that as an appetizer because then people can eat fries and ask them to do that.
Yeah.
But the thing called the seafood combo, that is probably your best deal, and they have a thing on it called a crab cake. And I would say, Mark, probably a lot like a New England crab cake, except for there's no Old Bay in it as a spice or anything like that. So it's almost a little bit more sagey and oniony. But, oh, man, they are good, and they like crunch when you bite into them. Yeah.
I love crab cakes, yeah.
And then, of course, buddy, for $4, I would tell you to just get a thing of red beans and rice if you want to add some sausage to it or something like that, you can. But they cook it with smoked sausage and smoke. What do you call the fake smoke? Liquid smoke. So I mean, you're gonna get no sense of loading up on meat with that. And and then it's just your sides. Everything you get 2 sides with. I would recommend either doubling up on French fries and getting some debris put on it, which is the roast beef gravy. Nice. But if you're a lover of potato salad, their potato salad is fresh, and they'll tell you a scoop. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, oh, like an ice cream scoop? No, it looks like something like a ladle they put on a plate. And then, Mark, if you don't like pickles, you have to tell them this too. Tell them no pickles on everything, because when you get your potato salad, okay, great, then you'll love this. They do a lot of their homemade pickles and stuff, so there's dill chips under everything. So like if you order that chicken finger plate, they put it all on pieces of bread, and then under the bread is pickles. So it's like,
so people go crazy.
Yeah. So some people hate it. I love it. Frankly, I eat the pickles afterwards. I mean, because it soaks up all that grease, especially if you've been drinking,
Yeah.
And then the dessert.
So I got to read this. Oysters are supposed to be aphrodisiac. Doesn't work for me. Sorry, Matthew Pounder. Yeah. Maybe you're supposed to eat 3 dozen oysters before you.
That's true.
Then maybe get back to us, or maybe not get back to us. But So if you order the debris, that's a whole thing separate. You add that onto your fries, like when you order.
Yeah, they put it. I don't know why you would want that on your sweet potato fries, but they would put that on your sweet potato fries.
Oh, so
but you
like
can get it like
fries.
You get it like a sandwich, and you can get it like cheese fries and debris gravy. Yeah, exactly.
So you could add, these are add-ons to the fries. So
you
could have cheese and debris together on top of your fries. I got you.
Correct. Yes, that is correct.
But so if you wanted to be really healthy and have sweet potato fries, Then you could add the melted cheese to it and the roast beef.
I think if you made me eat sweet potato fries, I would probably definitely put at least a brie on it.
I love sweet potato fries. Actually, if they're cooked well, they're good. But they're quote unquote healthy. I guess I don't know. But I do like them. Yep.
And Mark, frankly, this is a big thing in New Orleans. We might go someplace else for dessert, but I think there's a third and fourth dessert down there, isn't there? There is.
Peanut butter pie.
Now, bread pudding is great. You can never go wrong with bread pudding. And their white chocolate bread pudding doesn't taste like white chocolate. It just tastes very rich, so you would probably enjoy that. But they make in-house that peanut butter pie. That's why it's almost $6 a slice. Yeah.
Oh. I'm going to gain 20 pounds going down there, yeah. And beer on
and then, of course, Mark, if you look at some of those beers, there's a lot of New Orleans beers on there, like that Nola Pale and stuff, and the Irish Channel and stuff like that. That's almost, as a matter of fact, they have a really good and they raised the price on Pabst. I was going to say a pint of Pabst used to be $1.50. It's $2.50 now.
Everything's going up now. Yep.
Yeah, a pint was $1.50 and a pitcher was $6.
Yep.
So,
we're getting some sweet potato fries lovers in the chat. Hungry Boy says sweet potato fries with Worcestershire sauce and black pepper. Never tried that, but I'll have to try that.
That wouldn't be too bad.
Check it out. Yep. And then Phantom Outsider. Sweet potato fries are great with honey mustard. I love honey mustard, so I love myself some. And sometimes what I do, I mix. This sounds gross, but I mix barbecue sauce with mayonnaise. It actually comes out tasty. You got to get the ratio right, but actually comes out good. Or just mayo on your fries too. So I remember being out and I would always want to do that. My mom would be like, "You can't put mayo in your fries."
That's what the Belgians do.
Yeah.
Well, Mark, a very famous, and especially here in the New Orleans area, dipping sauce for your chicken strips is just ketchup, mayonnaise, black pepper, and some Worcestershire sauce and a little onion powder.
Yeah, all mixed together, or obviously.
Yeah, you mix it all together. It looks a lot like cane sauce when you do it.
Yeah. Well, this sounds good. Yeah, this place. Yeah.
Now, Mark, if you could go back to the map where this is.
Yep. Okay.
And this is what's so cool about this place. They don't care if you leave your car in the parking lot. They have a huge parking lot next door to it. Okay, so you see Frankie and Johnny's right there?
Yep.
All right. You see the parking lot? There used to be a house there. If you pull out a little bit and go to the street.
Oh, they bought the house and knocked it down for parking, basically?
No, it fell down. No, you can't rip houses down there. That's a big deal. No, go the other way. Go the other way. You're going towards the lake. I want you to go towards the No, you're fine. Go back. Go back to the corner, but go that way.
Go to
my right.
Left or I can't say to your right. To your right. Okay. Yep.
There we go.
Because there's a delay too on the street.
Now we walk down here. You walk past these 5 houses. Yep. And then right there on the corner, so we would leave our car because they don't care if you leave your car in the parking lot. That's our bar. That's it.
They don't mind if you leave your car there. That's pretty amazing.
No, you're uptown, buddy. It's not like the corner. It's not.
Okay, yeah.
And even if you don't, there's a gas station across the street that closes at 6 o'clock. So people.
Yeah, so no one cares, right?
And believe it or not, you can park all along the street right there. But that cigar bar is called Dos Jefes. It used to be a cigar shop. And then they decided to become a bar, and it's real popular with smokers because in New Orleans proper, the only place you could smoke inside is a cigar bar. Oh, so that place will never.
Some cigars. Yeah.
That place will never close. It might switch hands, and that's parking all right there too. So
they could use some work on the roof here.
Yeah, it really could. It's looking pretty shabby, but you know what? I kind of like it.
It's ambiance, right?
It's kind of a dump. Yeah. Can you see the courtyhouse?
Oh, hey, we got a visit. We got a visitor. That was the ding. Dude. I heard the ding. Yeah, that's the new StreamYard feature. Yeah,
I'll let you put.
He's so polite.
That was my way of knocking.
Yeah, dude, there's no way Doomcock's done already.
No, he's not.
Okay, you just snuck out. Good for you.
I didn't sneak. No, I just
okay.
You did your segment, yeah. So Cloudberg Times, welcome.
He was on this chair eventually.
Cloudberg, he was invited on Doomcock tonight, which is awesome. So he was hanging out for the Pop Culture Sunday show.
We had to.
Yes, indeed. Had a great time over there with those great fellows there. But I guess they're getting close to done. But
did Iron Man ever show up? Was he crying?
The Mexican Iron Man did not show up. Was he okay?
I think he's at the game, buddy. I think he
was
went
at
to
that
the
game.
game.
Oh, is he a Rams fan or a 49ers
No. He's not a Rams fan. He's a 49ers fan. And he is not happy.
Yep. Oh, well, okay. Well, good. I'm happy. Because
I told him, I said, dude, I could tell you this. Probably the vast majority of people in New Orleans are rooting for the 49ers because we don't like the Rams. Well, we used to mark that the Rams used to be like, and not that we were madly in love with the 49ers, but nobody wants to see the damn Super Bowl in the same city with the. It's just, it doesn't feel right, you know. So
well, yeah, the Crams are going to host it, just like last year the Bucks hosted it 2 years in a row after all those 50-something years of not. But down here, it's down here. In Louisiana feels like it's going to the Super Bowl because of Joe Burrow, the Baton Rouge Bengals.
That's hysterical.
Right. Well, I don't know about you, Cloudy, but that's who I'm rooting for.
You know what? As much as I've always hated the Bengals, I like Joe Burrow, so I'm going to just suspend there. Whether I hate their stupid Who Day and stuff, but the Cincinnati Burrows, I hope goes all the way. Hello there, hungry boy.
Yep. So we've been talking oysters, which are your favorite, or oyster underwater booger.
Yeah, I wish Mike would have saw that menu because, Clobby, I brought him to a place that was real close to this bar. And it's a seafood house, but I tell Mark whenever I go there, I don't eat seafood because their roast beef sandwiches and chicken and all are just so good that I've never even bothered to eat seafood there because you can go anywhere in New Orleans, right? You get good seafood. But
which place?
It's called Frankie and Johnny's. It's right off the top. Okay. Everybody you've been there.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, brother? There's a lot of non-seafood you could eat there, huh? Even though they're boiling it in the back.
If they're thinking of if I'm thinking of the same place you're thinking of, naturally, I don't get seafood anyway. They got good stuff.
Yeah,
hey, Zach's. Hey, Zach's.
Hey, Zach's.
And yeah, Mark, that's the little corner. They always have like a little jazz quartet, sometimes they'll have rock music in there. Sometimes they'll have, but it's real light rock. You know, you're not going to get like, you know, heavy metal, Zydeco, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, you're not going to get. But yeah, it's live music, can't be beat, right? It's.
Absolutely. Yes. And they actually have a pianist on staff. He you know, makes an income. That's his job. That's him right there.
Yeah.
Nice. Great. And you obviously you can still smoke cigars there and
yeah. Still
which is nice.
Smoke cigarettes. I sit out in the courtyard because I'm not I used to smoke cigars before my daddy got the cancer, and then after that I was just like, I can't do it anymore. Not because I can't, but just because it just doesn't feel right, so I don't enjoy it. But a lot of my friends still smoke, so we'll go there and we'll sit out in the courtyard. I was telling them, Clobby, that down here, you could still, in February, you could sit out in the courtyard. It's not a big deal. They got the big propane heaters out there and stuff if it's cold. And
so when it gets like 50 degrees for you guys down there.
Yeah.
So Zach's
we'd be wearing
Bengals fan? Out there. Zach's is a Bengals fan? Well, hey, man, I hope you get one. You guys had 2 shots since the 80s, but I hope you get one.
Well, Joe Montana's not around anymore, so you got to fight chance.
Yeah, this is it's weird. He's done what 2 other Joes did in their second year. So if he does it all the way, it's getting spooky, man. Namath second year, I believe. Montana second year,
right? Yep.
And if Joe does it, what is it with this Joe thing going on? In the NFL, but they could easily. The Rams are they shouldn't have won that game. Really, I mean, they're kind of poopy, and you know, Bengals look pretty legit. Because of course, I kind of had a feeling KC cannot play defense in the second half. Apparently, they can't stop anything, and they certainly have a terrible secondary. So. How many times is the Bengals? That would be 0.
0.
Who day?
Yeah, we were looking at that.
I hate that Who Day stuff. See, I love this. Even though I'm mostly sworn off football, I'm letting myself kind of still enjoy. Say, I love Super Bowl week, the 2 weeks, and I do nothing but think about Super Bowl trivia and all the stupid trivia that I'll never have any use for about Super Bowls, but I love it.
Yeah.
No one even wants to talk to me about Super Bowl trivia because they think I'm going to know shit. But I don't know. But I don't care. I love it. I mean,
hey, Philbo Baggins is here. Yep.
Long-suffering Bengals fan.
Protocol.
Yeah, protocol. Nice.
Get a baked potato with your hamburger.
Yeah.
But yeah,
you know why that
before
was, Bobby? Why you used to? I think you get fries now, but you know why I used to only be able to get a baked potato with it?
I don't know why.
Because that building was so old that they couldn't put a fire suppressant system outside of the kitchen even. So they weren't allowed to have a deep fryer there. They could only have a grill, and it was a grill that backed up to an open window, right, with a screen. And they would bake potatoes in it, so you'd have something with it. So that's why you could only get hamburgers and baked potatoes and salads there.
Wow,
interesting.
The fire department wouldn't let them have a deep fryer.
Come to think of it, it might have been funny to see them beat the 69ers and have retribution for those 2 Super Bowl losses. Even though I hate the 69ers, of course, I hate the Crams more now. But
so Pat us and we're like, when was the last time the Bengals won the Super Bowl? I'm like,
never.
Wait a minute, I don't think they ever won. Yeah, like you were saying.
They got a chance to win both of those right there. They're in those games.
Well, this one, which was this one? The 81 one was that was Montana Drive, right?
Yep, Montana. Well, the drive against the Cowboys. That 81 was his first one. Are you talking about the second with the Montana Drive? Was the Bengals. It's interesting that year they didn't have a very good. They were like 10-6 that year or something.
But Boomer had gone down and scored a touchdown, so they were up 21-19. I think
left too much time on the clock.
And then Montana came down the field and scored. So that was
hit John Taylor for the touchdown there and won it. So that's right. That drive there. That's one of the big drives of Super Bowls. It was Super Bowl 23.
Yeah. So that was. Were they saying 21?
Was it 21?
16.
22, 20?
Oh, 23.
Yeah, 16 was
88.
I'm
trying to remember each game now, but it's been so long. So, which was the drive by? Was Montana playing in 88 or was it? Yeah, Montana.
Yeah, that was the Montana one. That's right.
That's what 88. Yeah. So who was the quarterback?
It was the 88 season, but they played it in 89.
89. Yeah. Who was the quarterback? Was 81? Who was the quarterback for the Niners?
In 81, it was
that still Montana?
It was also that was his second year in the league. They played against Ken Anderson was the quarterback for the Bengals.
Okay. Yep.
And if Anderson, I don't know how that guy's not in the Hall of Fame. He should be.
Yeah. We did that show with you on the top
quarterbacks.
Players.
Should be
yeah.
Top players.
Looking at his stats. Yeah. Well, some people get overlooked. I think too from like how old when they played, and do we really know a lot about players say from the 50s and the 60s in the NFL when, like I'm saying, like the next generation, like you haven't grown up watching all these games live or seeing these players or
I don't know, Mark. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anything about Archie Manning or Johnny Unitas, and I didn't really see them play live. But I know everything about them growing up. Now Archie Manning is obviously because I was in New Orleans, right? So
yeah.
But I mean, to know that much about Johnny Unitas, like a guy that played for the Colts,
NFL film.
But most what I'm saying is most like you don't have the legacy background on the players. Like when I was really into baseball, like in the 70s and 80s, I watched every Yankees game. Could tell you all the stats and recite the lineup and like all the players, even like not the best players. Like you get to know the whole league inside and out. But then when you look at it like years later, like obviously everyone knows Babe Ruth, but like you forget like a Ken Anderson or some of those players that are really good. And it's not picking on anyone. It's just, the focus of time, time shifts to, knowing certain players. So, like by any sport, it's like, the legends, but those journeymen or like people that maybe should have been recognized more. And like my favorite baseball player is Greg Nettles. And, he's got more home runs than any AL player in history as a third baseman. I think he's got
right.
So and he should be in the Hall. It's a running joke with my buddies. Like, Nettles for the Hall. But if you look at his stats and how many home runs he's hit and RBIs, and he's got some great statistics, but his batting average is too low. But he's amazing fielder and won that World Series for the Yankees based on his fielding. So. It's but he's actually got more home runs than Jim Rice. So he's it's just the way but it's just
now Mark
players.
When it was school time and there was a day game, would you like go try to sneak in the library and watch the game, or did you have a Walkman where you'd listen to it in class?
You had radios. So you had your little transistor radio, but you couldn't do that during the when I was in school.
Sure, you could. You'd run it up through your shirt, buddy, through your collar, and then
you know how big the Walkmans were.
That's true. Wild but true statement. Zach says right there. Gino Carano's dad does in fact have a ring, a Super Bowl ring. He means.
Wow.
He played in one game. He was with Dallas in '77 when they beat the Broncos in there, and he got into one game because of what's his face was Staubach, and then what was it? Whatever his name was, White got hurt. They got hurt. Staubach got hurt, and Danny White got hurt. I believe it was on like a Thanksgiving or something like that. And then I forget Carano's name now because he didn't play with the league very long, but he did come in and play well in the game, and
interesting.
Barely played in the league, but he was in the league.
Then he got a ring. Wow. Yep.
Yeah, I think he was on the staff.
And my guy Greg Nettles, he took out Space and Bill Lee. The pitcher for the Red Sox. So certain guys were badasses and you didn't mess with, and Greg Nettles is one of them. So I guess they were jawing at each other, and Bill Lee unfortunately got got the worst of that one. Yeah, unusual Hall of Fame stat: collarbones broken by Greg Nettles, won, everyone else 0. Yeah, so that was a nasty. And he I think Bill Lee never recovered that well from that, if I remember. But unfortunately, it was a famous fight where he's fighting George Brett, and he didn't take any shit, and he had a great sense of wit. Of course, then he became captain of the Yankees, and then he wrote that book Balls, picking on George Steinbrenner, and and then they got fired / traded to San Diego. That was so mad at baseball. I didn't want to watch it anymore. I was so pissed because that was my favorite player. But God. Yeah, but he's got 390 home runs, and so he's borderline. Should be in the Hall of Fame if it wasn't for his batting average. But that's like, if I asked a kid today, like, do you remember Greg Nettles? Who's a Yankee fan, they might have seen some a Yankeeography or seen a few things, but it's you're not going to know about him. So yeah, Nettles. Yeah, if you play that, Nettles dropped him. Yeah, I don't think he meant to do that to the guy, but he was a pretty strong guy, and he took him out. Yeah. Well, thoughts on Barry Bonds? Well, I guess you should decide if you're going to allow steroid users into the Hall of Fame. So allegedly, Barry Bonds took steroids. But if the speculation is there already are a bunch of players that took steroids, and Big Papi, who just got in, I'm sure that's what Zach's referring to, did have a positive test. So, but of course, Big Papi's, everyone loves the guy, great personality, versus Curt Schilling, who politically, quote unquote, is not that popular. Whether or not I think he probably has the stats to make the Hall, but, so you look at Big Papi, if you either let them all in or don't let any of them in. So, Bonds has obviously had the stats before he started juicing to be, he would have been a Hall of Fame player. And allegedly, the story goes, he was angry at all the attention and how people were, the stats and, how well people were hitting. And, so he started allegedly juicing. In trouble here. We have Barry Bonds is going to sue me. But I think it's a shame. But of course, back, with McGuire and Sosa, when they were going crazy, hitting all those home runs, a lot of this stuff was legal back then too. I don't even think steroids were legal at one point. Yeah. So do you excuse it, or and then everyone says, oh, the players in the 70s took uppers or greenies,
but they didn't have the steroids like that, though.
Yeah. Yep. So I don't know what's your thought on that, guys, on the Hall of Fame and the juicing.
I don't care what you do with your northern sport, buddy. You guys do whatever you want.
I do think
anybody. But I'm going to say this: if you let everybody with steroids in, you got to let Pete Rose in.
I was about to say Pete Rose needs to be in there. Exactly.
Yeah.
The first vote went to Pete Rose. I was about to say that. However, I don't think Bonds and people like that should be in there, with all their juicing and stuff like that. But I don't like it. It's just
And also the other thing that drives me nuts too, the like number of games per season. So the asterisk, of course, all the stats should have the asterisk. Like this year, they're talking about setting all kinds of records for passing, and but wait, you got an extra game this year too.
It's extra like game. No pass defense anymore. But when I said that about the steroids and all that crap, then would I have to go out there and take away a bunch of yards from Walter Payton? Because that's pretty much what killed him.
Was what the
steroids and stuff like that.
Oh, I think so too. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Well, of course, but I think it was actually legal back in the day too. So there were no.
A lot of the guys in the NFL were doing it too, but not like baseball. But it's a little bit different from baseball, but not that much.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, and Shoeless Joe. That's I think he hit like 360 in that World Series. That's Shoeless Joe.
Shoeless Joe should be in there.
Yeah, and Pete Rose too. Yeah, if you're letting all these other guys in, I guess Pete Rose didn't. Should have just apologized and taken his licks back then. He didn't want to admit that he'd done that. So, but it's God, the stats that the guy has, he's amazing. Plus, all right, you're not in the Hall, but you can still appreciate someone's career for what they did. And
NFL let Paul Hornung and Alex Karras in. Both of them were suspended for a season for gambling.
Yeah. So. But it's I just remember as a kid watching Pete Rose, Charlie Hustle. It was fun to watch. So it's there's a gray area there too. And then not to excuse it, but I think some people like pitchers even took steroids too. Obviously, allegedly Roger Clemens and but I think to compete with the batters too, because you recover faster and it's it's not good for your body. Obviously, it can be very destructive, but how many people in it are in sports, right? That what percentage of society is that? So you're talking, this is, performance enhancing stuff like this, can be the difference between, being, that next contract or that next paycheck, especially if you're a borderline player. And so there's a big temptation there. So it's,
no doubt about that part, but I'm still saying it's like, it's, and too, it's really hard because I don't know about you guys, but I've had orthopedic problems, and I could tell you this: when you get steroids and your muscles are hurting, or you've torn something, oh my God, it's like a miracle. I mean, it really is. I have
when prescribed by a doctor. Yeah,
I have tinnitus in both a shoulder, and I have a real bad, like I have a short Achilles tendon on my left foot. And man, when I get a shot of cortisone and they give me those oral steroids, like 2 days later, it's like nothing happened to me. And I could be incapacitated for a week before I go. And I felt like, like I'm one of those people like kind of dragged to the doctor. And I'm feeling like, okay, I'll go in on crutches,
Yeah.
And it gets shot up, and it's like a miracle, man. So I can only imagine, there's got to be.
I just want to say goodnight to Captain James D. Skywalker. Sorry, Pat. Yep.
Night, Captain. That's okay.
Night, Captain. Yep.
Night, bud.
So so it really helps your recovery and makes you feel a hell of a lot better. So but it is it's cheating. So back when we
I don't take away from that. Yeah, absolutely.
So, but Bonds and Sosa, everyone loved when they're hitting all those home runs, and I guess technically when they were taking creatine or whatever the heck they were taking, the cream and stuff, it was some of it was still legal too. Like, of course, it's been banned by the league now. So how do you judge that? But of course, the interesting thing is too, like you look at, I'm a huge fan of Babe Ruth, and you look at they actually did a test of Babe Ruth in Popular Science to see why he was so great, and they actually said that I'm trying to Google it here. This says reflexes were far above anyone else, and in the way body worked in terms of organizing and his mind, hand-eye coordination. Let me share this article because this is cool, kind of geek nerd stuff, but really cool because the Bambino. I mean, you look at people make fun of this. Oh, he was fat. He was back then. You didn't really train that much, and they thought you wanted to save your legs. So earlier seasons, Babe Ruth was actually considered one of the better fielders.
Look like John Goldman to me.
No, never like John Goodman. Yeah, no. Oh, God bless John Goodman. He's lost over 100 pounds now. He's looking great now. But it's yeah. So they put like this is primitive back in the 20s or 30s, and they're testing him to see what the forces were, and how much he breathed, how he hit, and so they said just amazing how physically and mentally he was just so far ahead of his time in terms of how he, and of course some of his best seasons when he was working out or training, he was just amazing. So trying to see that some pictures here. This is a great article to read, but one of the articles that had like a lot, actual pictures and things of the test. Let's see if they have it here, but I guess where's my pictures here? So he's got a lot of pictures in this article, but they had the original article. Let me see if I can get images here. Let's see. Yeah, so here let's see if they have some of the pictures. It was just really interesting, trying to
popular science
test. Yep. Yeah, so they test his because they want to know why was he so much better. Why was he so much better than everyone else? Hitting these home runs that were just way, farther and longer. He hit more than some teams some years. So early in the career. So amazing stuff. But and this book is I'm geeking out on Babe Ruth here, but let's see the year that Babe Ruth hit 104 home runs. So this is a great book to read if you like early baseball and and what was really cool is there's a section in the book where they take the ballparks from back in the day and they show the pictures of the ballpark and where the fences were then and where they are now. And the fences are just so much further in now. So the author, what he did, he looked at that year, which is considered Ruth's best year in 1921, and he looked at, and there's no footage back then, but he looked at like 3 or 4 papers and he'd correlate where the ball landed, like up on the wall and left field. And back then the wall say was like 440, but today it's like 330. So he was just showing in the modern field he would have hit 104 home runs that year. And the the field went if you hit a home run, it had to land in fair territory. So if the ball went around the pole and landed out, so they said that year he lost like three home runs that year too, or something like that, or 4 home runs because it landed foul. But the fun thing was when they're showing the the ballpark. So that famous of course I'm a Yankees fan, so I'll bring this up. The famous seat in right field in Fenway Park where Ted Williams hit that home run, way out into right field. Babe Ruth, the stands aren't there anymore, but Babe Ruth hit one like 50 feet further back. Of course, they're not going to commemorate that now in Fenway Park. But that's this home run, 545 feet in Fenway Park. So it's and the crazy thing is, they said, well, Babe, he was a washed up guy. His last game, he hit. I think it was. Let's see, where's the game here? So it was. He hit a home. Yeah, here it is. Yeah, 1935. They went in order. Yeah, 540 feet, hit across the street. Final home of his career. So he's a washed up guy, fat, quote unquote fat Babe Ruth. He hits the ball 540 feet. Right now, what do you think the longest home run in the major leagues was this year? No one went and got near 540 feet, and this guy did this in 1935 as a quote unquote washed up, drunk hot dog eating guy, right?
Yeah.
So I'm googling it. Yeah, let's see, 2020, 2021, right? Let's see, longest home run, and all being 2021. Yep. So let's see here, just to compare. So 495 feet was the longest. Miguel Sano. So no one even cleared 500, and that's pretty impressive, right? 495. So that's my Babe Ruth rant. But
I hear you. He was unbelievable. Unbelievable, dude.
Yeah, you want us over, Mark? You convince us. Babe Ruth was a good baseball player.
Oh man, I was so hoping I'd be able to convince you. Yeah.
Good. Well, I don't think you did a good job on Pat. He said good, like
What you do in a case like that, Mark, is you go, okay, tell me the 5 better players than Babe Ruth in the history of baseball.
Yeah, right.
I think what's interesting about that is you can compare what you just said about how even any of these modern home runs are nowhere near what he did. Even though there may have been changes to the game and the fields and all this other stuff, whereas you can't compare the stuff that Tom Brady with all these yards and these rings and all this stuff.
Yep.
He wasn't taking the hits that Bradshaw did, that Staubach did, that Montana did, and Marino and Elway. The kind of pounding those guys took, and he didn't have the play against the kind of defenses or the kind of rule systems that they did, and he wouldn't have lasted 44 years old in the NFL taking the hits those guys did. Nobody would have.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Staubach was probably.
He's not good. Brady's great. Let me tell you something. He's great for this. He's the greatest of the era in the way the system is now. Because he's like Peyton Manning. He's got a thinking machine computer in his brain when it comes to standing out there on that field under the heat and all that stuff. He's got that. He's got all that stuff, and he's the best at that. Plus, let's face it. Let's face something else. The Patriots are in the AFC East every year. That means they had to play every year. They got to play the garbage Dolphins. You were usually garbage. The Jets are almost always garbage, and and the Bills who were almost always garbage for 20-something years. Okay, I mean, look at that. That's an average of anywhere from 5 to 6 guaranteed gimme wins a year. You know what that does to your chances for the playoffs?
Oh,
increases them exponentially.
Yeah. Plus, they're in the AFC and also in the AFC, but that's different. The AFC, the others is tough, except for the AFC East. It's been poo-poo, except for the Patriots for the past 20 years. Once in a while, they'll have a team here and there, but
But on the other hand, you got to hand it to him for turning the team around and. And he's playing within the rules. So I hear what you're saying, and I think you're saying the same thing. Yeah.
Oh no, look, I'm giving all the credit. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
different eras. It's tough to compare the eras.
Whereas you could say a guy you can compare certain things that Ruth did to today. It's really tough to compare a lot of things that Marino or Montana did, or Udinus did. Udinus was the grandfather of the position. He and Otto Graham, those two. You can't compare them to Brady, but you can always say all you ever have to say that the Brady people will say is, "Well, look at all those rings." Yeah, it's great. I mean,
no, that's amazing.
Fantastic.
Yeah, that's amazing.
It's the era he did it in. He's the best in the era, but all time, I just don't like the word the phrase all time.
Like your generation, because you took one of those all time players. That's what was driving me crazy about Babe Ruth. They're saying, well, he didn't play against the Negro Leagues, and he couldn't hit the curveball. It's like, are you kidding me? Look how ahead of his time this guy was. And actually, I found an article they were referencing him playing. He did a ton of barnstorming, and Babe Ruth was, obviously not, from what I've read, not in favor of segregation, but he, hit really well against some of the. I saw something he hit, really well against some of the Negro League pitchers, and there were comments about how great Babe Ruth was. And actually, if I'm remembering right, I'm just off the top of my head, they didn't want him to play with the Negro Leagues because it's segregation. But Babe Ruth had said in his own way, said, "Screw it, I'm playing," he did hit very well. Of course, you didn't have the league was segregated, it was horrible and wrong, but you can't take away from someone's career. He's hand over fist better than everyone else. So yeah, maybe he wouldn't have had this as good stats, or you can't say that they use it today to diminish him. Like, oh well, today he couldn't hit the curveball. Are you kidding me? The guy that is that good wouldn't be able to hit modern pitching. Of course, the pitchers are better, but give me a break. And of course, as Zach was saying too that Babe Ruth also pitched. He would have been in the Hall of Fame for pitching too. So
That's right.
So that's why he was such a good athlete. And he had that record in the World Series. I think he 29 scoreless innings pitched in the World Series against top competition.
Wow.
So Mariano Rivera.
Mark played other positions too, right? Wasn't he famous for didn't he go out and play left field one time or something? And he knocked himself unconscious for 2 minutes because he ran into a wall going after him.
Yeah.
Could be.
Well, yeah, because he was a good fielder too, and a great arm. So, and you don't have. That's what I was trying to say too. You don't have NFL. NFL films are so amazing. You've got all that old footage you can watch, and maybe you can't compare the players, but at least you can see the old players. But like Ruth, you just have those newsreels. There's not is there a whole game with Babe Ruth? Maybe there is. I don't know, but you don't have that kind of camera coverage. But look at him in the World Series. ERA in the World Series.
Baseball just doesn't lend itself to viewing of old games. I've tried it before. With an old NFL or even an old college game or an old prize fight, right? Like old boxing matches. Those are incredible to watch, but I can't even imagine going, I'm going to sit down and watch the 1968 Cardinals play. It's that doesn't even enter my mind.
Some would, but not that for me either.
You.
I mean,
I will say this.
Probably have.
To be fair, guys, if you ever come across a game on YouTube or something, and I'm not just saying this because he's from New Orleans, I'm telling you, this incredible, almost average height white guy playing basketball, you have to watch Pistol Pete Maravich play ball. It is incredible.
I have. Pistol Pete's a genius. Was a legend.
Yeah. I mean, it's just amazing to watch. So if you think you wouldn't watch old basketball games, you'd watch him.
The New Orleans Jazz.
Yep.
That's right.
Remember the New Orleans Jazz?
Yep.
I do. I know we tried to get it back to, but Utah doesn't want to give it up because they're known for Jazz now. So
for some reason,
Utah Jazz is ridiculous. Yeah, but but look at this. So Babe Ruth, when he came in the league, right? So his 3 years pitching, and then they moved him to being a batter. So he the 2 years when he started more than 40 games, he won 23 and 24 games. Imagine that. And then this year they started moving him into fielding. And batting. So he only started 20 games. He won 13. And then as a Yankee, he actually pitched 1920-21. He won 3 games. So he's got or five. Yeah. And then 1933. Imagine he came in at age 38, hadn't pitched, and he came in and he won a game. I mean, and what was his ERA that year? I guess he gave you 5 runs. All right, but or maybe more. How many innings did he pitch? Let's see. 9 innings, he gave up 5 runs, but they still won the game. But anyway, I mean, that's just crazy. So let's see, where was the postseason? Oh, here we go. Postseason pitching, yep. So let's see, inning pitch 14 and so 31 innings pitched, and what was his ERA? 0.87. So he had 1916 World Series, didn't give up a run, I guess, or gave up whatever. He had that streak, whatever it was, 29 innings, I don't know why it's got 0.64. That should be 0. I don't know why. Not sure why that's showing that there, but just ridiculously good. So just amazing. Yep. So
yeah, buddy.
Yep.
Great stuff.
Well, Mark, you said you wanted to go 2 hours tonight. Are you sticking to that, or?
Yeah, let's stick to that. Yeah, I think that's pretty
Sounds good. But I want to throw this out to you guys, and I want you to think of it. And whenever we're together next. Oh, by the way, I wanted to ask this at the beginning of the show, and now that Claudia's here, has anybody heard from Steve? I haven't seen him in chats or anything.
He popped in for a minute last night. He said, say hello and stuff like that. The last time I connected with him, he said he was feeling a little bit better. I'll check with him. I don't want to wake him up tonight. I'll check with him in the morning.
Yeah, please don't. But he is okay. I guess.
Yeah, as he's getting better.
God, I'll take that. That's a good answer. Okay.
I mean, not still feeling like crap, but it's a tough. He got hit hard apparently. So.
Yeah.
Well,
so
gentlemen,
I just want to say I invited him to stream tonight. He texted me just before the stream that he was feeling kind of tired and just is going to take a rest. But
gotcha. Okay.
So, but good. Keep pulling through. If you ever listens to this on replay, yep. Hope you're feeling better, Steve. And
thoughts and prayers, brother.
So, he got zonked by it. Yep. So
cool. But what I want to throw at is maybe the next time we're all together. see if we can answer this question in totality. And I have a feeling after talking to you guys know Gary from Pop Culture Archivists?
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
I know.
After talking to Gary, we think this could be a series of at least a couple of shows and everything. But we came up with this question, and I think the answer to it's yes. But I want you guys to kind of research and look through it a little bit and everything and all that. But the 1970s was the penultimate decade for broadcast television. There again, I don't expect you to answer that right now, but I want you to look at it. Keep in mind, this is broadcast television. I know you could say, well, in the 90s is when
Penultimate or ultimate?
started, but broadcast television, I think you'd have to really come up with some good arguments to say that was not the case.
It is a good thing to think about. I'd have to think about that.
Yeah, was the 80s better, 60s better? I don't know.
I mean, look, there's a lot you could say about the 50s. I mean, people still watch things like the Honeymooners and stuff like that. There's a lot to be said about that. The 90s television wasn't terrible. I think the last 20 years has been.
But can it core an apple too?
Some real. What's that?
But can it core an apple too?
Oh, it could core apple.
It can core apple.
Oh, it could core apple.
That's a Honeymoon's quote, guys. For you youngins out there.
No,
but it would be something fun. But look at some different stuff, and I'll tell you what you think.
My runners-up are going to be 60s and 70s. Now, picking out of those two would be, for me personally, the big one. Picking between those two would be the tough one.
Gotcha. Yeah. But I bet you, Claudia, if I went and looked back at your top television shows you did, who did you do that with? J-Man, or was that? I'm trying to remember who
Flash
you did.
and I've done it.
Oh, that's it.
You and Flash. On the VCR, but that was. Did we do TV shows here yet? I can't remember.
I think y'all did TV shows and movies.
We did movies, and we did worst. We did hated movies. We did best movie, favorite movies. Have we done TV over here yet? I thought that was years ago. I did it with him, but maybe.
Well, I've heard you mention some TV shows that you like, and they were definitely TV shows in the 70s.
You got a question here, Pat.
What's that?
Hungerboy says, does Pat ask me the influence of that TV decade or the quality? I think you mean the quality, like was the 70s.
Yeah, I mean the actual. 80s, obviously, when you watch, I'm just going to say one show. When you watch Taxi is a very dated show, right? There's no cell phones in it, but it's also kind of set in one, kind of like how Cheers was, which is definitely an 80s show, right? Set in one location, all that. But you'd be hard pressed to sit there and watch Taxi and not still laugh at it. There's a timelessness to some of those shows.
Oh, Taxi's a great show. Yeah.
We just lost. I'm sure you guys probably heard this earlier. We lost the great Howard Hessman from WKRP in Cincinnati.
That was a great show.
What a great show! And you know, radio business is completely different today than it was back when that show was on in the late 70s and early 80s. But you could still watch that show and immerse yourself in it, and really, really, I mean, some of the best lines in television came out of that show. And also Howard Hessman was in one of my daddy's favorite movies, gentlemen. Did you know that he was in the original first Billy Jack?
Yes, he was. That's right.
Yeah, he was one of the teachers, right, Claudia, at the school for the Indian kids and the hard of hearing kids and stuff. Yeah.
Good night, Zach. Thanks for being here.
Night, Zach.
Great week. Yep. And Eric said not addressing his Ty Cobb, so I think he was mentioning how Ty Cobb said he was the greatest. Yep.
Every time I think of Ty Cobb, I think of
amazing player too. Yep.
From The Fugitive, Tommy Lee Jones. He did such a great job of playing Ty Cobb in that movie that I'd say.
Yeah.
Christopher Lloyd's stuff on Taxi is timeless. Yes.
With it. That was great. Barney Miller, the first 3 seasons of MASH. Yes, for comedies for sure, the 70s is a tough competitor.
Oh yeah. And then when you get into stuff like
by category, which decade had the best? That would be interesting. Like which one had the best westerns, which one had the best cop shows, which one they had. But yeah, cop shows the 70s too, or PI shows, Rockford.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. It'd be tough.
You know, Claudia, when you look at a lot of the thing you could say about Rockford, and I know you guys know I'm very.
Hey, Joe.
Hey, Joe.
Go ahead.
When it comes to the Rockford Files, I'm obviously very biased because that was my father's favorite show, and I watch it and stuff. But you know what? I look at other people's top 10 lists of TV shows. And Rockford's almost always on those shows. It was just.
You're right. We did do TV shows, and that was on mine.
Okay.
Right. Now I remember because you mentioned Rockford. Yeah, we did that. Flash and I did that recently. Right? Yeah, and Flash did that night, and that was Now you've reminded me, Pat.
See, and buddy, I bet if I go back and I watch that show, a lot of your shows are from the 70s. Kolchak, 70s.
I think I got Kolchak on there. Yeah.
Star Trek is 60s.
Yeah, well, Lord, yeah, but So no, that's a good call. I mean, that's a good point. And some of the ones for Flash were probably from the 70s, I think. But yeah, well, for sure, Rockford's on there. I love it.
Well, I will leave you guys with this. I fell a little bit down of a Andy Kaufman hole this weekend. I was watching some things, and I have to say this. Taxi is so great that honestly, the least funniest thing about that show was Andy Kaufman. He was kind of a one-trick pony.
True.
But when you look at some of the lines that Tony Danza had as a brand new actor, and Judd Hirsch is like the heavy most of the time, and Danny DeVito, what a great protagonist in that on that show. It was just phenomenal. The woman, what's her name, that has the eidetic memory, and Mary.
The redhead.
Mary Lou Henner.
Thank you, Nardo. Was just a phenomenal actress and holding her own against all those guys and everything. And then you got Lockett doing his funny voice, which there again, I take nothing away from Kaufman. Brilliant. Right. But still, when you think that there's so much more rich depth of characters on that show than him, it just goes to say, the quality of the show is just phenomenal.
Lodka was okay, but everyone else was way better. But they had a lot of better characters. Barney Miller was a phenomenal show. That was one of the great shows.
Show
too. I love that show.
Barney Miller was great. Did a whole episode when Jack Sue died. I went and watched that a few weeks ago. God, that was heartbreaking, man.
Yeah, Jack Sue was hilarious. Oh, they had so many great episodes, like the one where the guy thought he was a werewolf.
Hey, you Muslim Uncle Hale. Yep, sorry, we're about to shut down. We're just talking old TV shows. I got to play this clip.
Oh, rewind it, Ray Apple.
Oh, I'm chef of the future. I heard your wish, and I have come here to answer it.
Incredible. And what was it, gentlemen? One season, 38 episodes or something like that? One season, 42 episodes?
What?
Well, the original.
The original. That's the classic 39 that he's got there. But there were a bunch of lost episodes, but there was one that was done like a 39 episodes, stretch of a season. That is what they call those. Are the ones that were in syndication the most until the 80s when they found the lost ones. And those are the best ones for me. I think.
Yeah, because Jackie Gleason had his variety show, and The Honeymooners was a sketch on his variety show. Yeah. So there were different Alice, different characters. And the quality is not that good, but it'd be like finding, like Doctor. I don't know if it's the same thing, but like finding a Doctor Who episode. So they found additional episodes that were sketches and shows and things that were quote unquote lost. So it's awesome to have them too. But the original 39er, that's it. So he's trying to sell Chef of the Future.
I can tell you guys this: what comic books were to you guys and movies were to some other people. That's what old television was for me. I lived on. There's a channel down here, Mark, called Channel 26. It was a UHF channel.
Yeah,
it's actually our ABC affiliate now.
Yeah,
but back then, and Mark, they would play all the old 60s and 70s TV shows, and that's what I would watch, and I could almost do them by like memory. And then when Nick at Night came on, when I was like a preteen, that to me was just like I was watching shows and. My friends would come over and it's like, why are you watching Donna Reed? And I'm like, what are you talking about? The show's brilliant. Like having an argument with 12-year-olds about why Donna Reed's a good show. But it really spoke to me, man. So for me, old television, especially 60s, 70s, 80s television is really where it's at. I mean, I could still watch it to this day and enjoy it much more than most modern stuff. Much more.
Yeah. That's awesome. Well, why don't we get on out of here so we can I'll get to bed relatively early.
Let's go online and see if we could find somebody catching themselves on fire.
Yeah. So the good news is Canadian Spider-Man's okay. Thankfully, we started the show with that.
Yeah. And, did you feel that?
And actually, and relative to that, we had a fun time on Saturday Night Star Trek last night. So I'm going to play that. We can blow up Wesley one more time. So let's play this.
There we go.
You kids have certainly wound up all the loose ends in this case. Blasted meddling kids.
I wish you didn't have to go.
Cal didn't mind that I used that video clip for part of the clip I added. So that was the game that he was on. So it was a fun. And I think we get Wesley back one more episode. Is that true?
Oh, I think there's at least one more. Two more.
Two more. Oh God. So
back then I was so jealous he got to kiss Ashley Judd. Now he could totally have her.
Yeah, back then though she was super hottie. Now she's
and normal and not crazy. So
right, she's crazy now, but she was wow. Too good for him.
So he makes us cry right here.
So, I want you all to stop crying. Everything is going to be all right.
I should add that one to that clip too. But, I'll have to merge. Maybe I'll do an extended version, merge the two together. But no, I just want to thank Clobbering Times for hopping in, Pat S for hanging out. We got the great Eric K here. Thanks for wrenching. And he said he's going to stop on one of these nights. It'll be great to have him. Interderivative Jill is here. Great Hungry Boy. Your Muslim Uncle Hale. Phantom Outsider. We had the lovely Sherry was here. Matthew Pounder.
Hey.
Did I say Phantom Outsider? See, my memory's bad. Zax.
Yeah, you did.
Yep. Philbo Baggins, and scrolling through so I can cheat. Who else was here that I said Zax.
See Courtney?
Courtney, Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs is here. Yep. Oh, I should have posted Courtney's channel while she was here. I didn't do that. Brett Cohen was here
for a while.
Yep. Yeah. And so I appreciate it as always, everyone hanging out and spending time with us. And we went off on a drinking tangent tonight, which was fun and all good. But
Clobby's got a big week coming up, y'all. Make sure you keep an eye on the channel.
Yep. So tomorrow night we're gonna have a fun time on Clobbering Times channel. If you want to talk about that, Mike. Yep.
Oh yeah, Cloudy's Classic Comics Review. You and me reviewing Marvel 201 Annual number 7. Looking forward to it, dude. Can't wait. I love doing a comics review.
That's gonna be awesome. Yep. So looking forward to that.
That is a deep track, sir. And I would like everybody to keep an eye out on Thursday evening. We'll be tweeting it out. Maybe if you guys would retweet it for me. It is not a Big Intro Thursday night show, but they're doing a Mikey Sutton show on Pop Culture Minefield now, and our old buddy 24/7, who I consider in the top 5 experts in comics on YouTube, has a little segment on the show where he will be talking DC and Marvel comics. So he gets a little piece of that. So I think it's going to be at 7:00 Central on Pop Culture Minefield. Mm-hmm. We'll be sending out. It's going to be pre-recorded, only run about an hour. So like I said, it won't even affect you guys' Thursday night show. We're not going up against any friends or anything like that. So, 6:30. I'm sorry, 6:30 Central, y'all. 7:00 on the East.
Excellent.
Great. We'll be looking for that. We'll looking on the Twitters. Yep. So
and then it's pre-recorded, so watch anytime. If you want to come hang out and chat while we premiere it, that's one thing. But if not, it'll be up anytime you want to see it. So
I got both my Spinner Rack videos coming out tomorrow since I was so late with them for the week, the end of the month, and then before that, and then the show tomorrow night, like we said, and Tuesday night, Mark, you're going to be on with Nick.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah,
I can't make that one.
Which one is this, buddy?
The Warriors.
I know. I wanted to be there for that one.
Oh, I should have asked for that one. I bet he's Warriors. I'm not hey, look,
dude, I have to tell him that I can't make it. But if you want me to tell him to holler at you for it, maybe you will.
Yeah. Absolutely. He actually invites me a lot. I choose not to go on much. And then when I finally did go on, it was freaking Tombstone. There was about 85 of us. He could have been running another thing, but but what a great movie! I don't blame everybody for wanting to get on board on that one. But
I'd love,
absolutely, gang. That, like I said, it's a big week, y'all. It's a big week.
Yep. Well, it's my wife's birthday that night too, so I got to see we're going out to dinner. But I think it starts 10:00 our time.
You are in so much trouble.
I got to tell Nick, but I'll get the slideshow ready. But
just be home. Tell her, look, honey,
that one.
Tell her, look, Valentine's Day is on Monday this year, so this will not affect it in February. So don't even worry about it.
Yeah, so I'll be streaming. It's gonna be very cold when I'm streaming outside in the back patio.
Mark will be in front of his Canadian Fire, and
yeah.
and I'll leave you with this, guys. I don't know if this is taped anywhere, but I definitely want you to tease Dad, man, the next time you see him, and tell him how much better his wife is at Fortnite than him. She got a triple kill the other night. Did you hear that, Mark?
Quad kill. No, quad kill. I was watching
quad
live.
Kill? Oh, my God. It's even better. Okay.
Yeah,
I don't even know what that means. Clobby's going to have to explain that
I
to
don't
me
either. I don't know either.
But it sounds really impressive.
It was pretty good stuff. It was amazing stuff. Yep. Yeah. So she came in and kicked butt in the end. It was really awesome. Yep. So yep. Good night. So good night to everyone. It's been awesome. I was looking forward to this on Sunday night.
Quick 2 hours.
And I appreciate everyone, coming to hang out and just chat and whatever the heck we talk about. It's no set topic, but it always seems to go pretty well, thankfully. So I'm going to play my typical late night Blues Brothers. Let me get my. I can't keep StreamYard. Just got to get these overlays organized better so we can folders here. That's just my. I got too many things in here now.
What's wrong with them? What's that?
No, but I think you should be able to have like your video clips. You should be able to have like a folder, like intros, outros.
Yeah,
that's just streaming. Streaming nerd stuff. Yep. Yeah. But thanks everyone. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. And be safe and have a great next week. And we'll catch you on the stream tomorrow night. Clobber's channel with that review of probably I think that's the greatest comic of all time. All right, maybe exaggerate, but that's one of my favorites. But you can't go wrong with that one. So take care, everyone, and thank you, Clobber, and thank you to
See y'all in February.
Indeed.
It's 106 miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.